New York's neighborhood market, proudly supporting New York's teams. Let's go Mets!
Looking for crisp, white trim that withstands the weather? Discover the beauty and durability of Versatex Carefree Exterior Trim from Riverhead Building Supply with low-maintenance Versatex PVC trim.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out and wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark.
We've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that effort is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
Texas, this is the Graham Slam Burger. So 2 patties, brisket, caramelized onion, American cheese, ranch aioli or ranch mayo, if you will.
Oh yeah, we're in Texas.
Yeah.
It's something that you definitely want to take a picture of and just put on the gram. I took a bite of it, but it still looks dope.
It's a burger that looks great, but also delicious.
As they have won 10 of their last 12.
Shohei Ohtani started for the Dodgers and pitched 2 shutout innings, including striking out the side in the second. But as we heard from our buddy Robert Ford on the Astros radio network, Houston pounced. And by the time it was done, Josh Hader, get this, made it 25 for 25 in save opportunities in a 6-4 Astros win. The Braves and the Orioles had the early honors on this Sunday morning in Atlanta, a couple of postseason teams from a year ago. However, both teams went into today's game with identical records, 39 and 49. Right now in Atlanta, bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Baltimore. The Mets start the day a half game behind the Phillies in the National League East. And today at Citizens Bank Park, the Phils face the Reds with Zach Wheeler on the mound against Reds rookie Chase Burns. We'll have more of the New York Mets pregame show as we get you set for the final game of the Subway Series on Odyssey Mets Radio.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
New York baseball fans ready to knock your future out of the park? Discover Malloy University, just 35 minutes from Manhattan. Get personal mentoring, academic excellence, and a vibrant campus life. Choose from over 80 undergraduate and graduate programs. Join 45-plus student clubs and cheer on 18 NCAA Division II teams. Your future starts at Malloy University. Visit malloy.edu today. That's MOLLOY.edu.
What separates you from world-class joint surgery isn't a bridge or a tunnel. You don't have to travel far to get the best treatment. At RWJ Barnabas Health, you can stay in New Jersey, close to home, and be treated by the same doctors who treat professional athletes and who designed the surgical implants that are now used around the world. Orthopedic care. Do it right. Here. RWJ Barnabas Health. Learn more at rwjbh.org/ortho.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, or a chronic health condition that requires IV medication? Check out ThriveWell Infusion. Say hello to state-of-the-art private luxury suites. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives, drip by drip.
Now is the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to PeerlessBoilers.com for more information and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Welcome back to Citi Field. Mets and Yankees coming up just a little bit. Pitching matchup for the finale of this three-game set will be right-hander Chris Davinsky making the start for the Mets as the opener, if you will.
Some overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs. And then next day, I got to eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me. And then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos lindo.
To like build this for them and spend the last year of coming up with this concept and getting it off the ground and getting everybody here, like it just feels really good to have everybody coming and experiencing the thing that we've been working so hard on. To be able to like take the experiences of Comic-Con and add that to a card show just is really fulfilling, because as somebody who grew up going to card shows and still goes to the same card show in the same church basement in Trumbull, Connecticut every month, like it's great. Card shows are amazing, but to be able to add all of this experience is what makes this great.
Kinds of streak over these kinds of streaks.
The knock has always been, well, the Yankees don't play great defense, and they say, well, we do just fine, but it's not been a clean game these last two.
No, this has been bad defense. This has not been a great defense. One of the things was when they got rid of Soto and brought people in. Bellinger, let's keep him in a corner. We're not talking about Cody Bellinger. He's been fabulous wherever you put him. And we're not talking about Aaron Judge. But they were supposed to be more athletic, and they were supposed to play better defense. It has not happened. It has not happened at any position except first base, where Paul Goldschmidt is a vacuum cleaner over there and saves. Talk about run prevention. Paul Goldschmidt should get a raise for what he has done. I'm kidding about his glove hand is going to be 3 inches taller than the rest of his other arm, because he has to get throws that are all over the place. So the run prevention has not been good.
Well, Susan, I thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Keith.
Well, that was Susan Waldman, and you always get that vibe from Susan, right? It make you feel like, well, wait a minute, what's the Yankees' record? Are they 0-89 here, or no, they're 48-41? When they're not going well, it's good to talk to Susan to just feel how it might feel for Yankees fans right now. We thank Susan for her time. More to come in the New York Mets pregame show right after this on Odyssey Mets Radio.
Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles for you, right here at Finder. So you can get the car you want, at the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you. Hurry into your local Nissan dealer today to save big during the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on Rogue or Pathfinder. For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts. Available on 2025 Nissan Rogue or 2025 Nissan Pathfinder from new dealer stock. Example, 0% APR financing for 60 months at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. N7725.
Sometimes artifacts in the collection of the Hall of Fame can tell multiple stories. This is the earliest known Yankees baseball cap in existence. It tells a story of a very early baseball cap and of a guy who just had a cup of coffee in the big leagues. But there's actually a hidden story inside this cap. There's another name written in the cap. So who's Dolan?
Play in Toronto.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagal, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hi, baseball fans. Howie Rose here. It's time to step up to the plate and upgrade your deck with TimberTech. TimberTech is the #1 premium composite decking brand. It looks just like real wood, but without the never-ending maintenance of a wood deck. It won't rot or splinter, and it's backed by industry-leading warranties, so you'll be sure your deck looks great season after season. See for yourself why TimberTech is everything wood should be. Order free samples at TimberTech.com.
The days move fast. Deadlines, school drop-offs, dinner plans. Good thing Optimum Fiber doesn't take slow for an answer. Get the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state, starting at $40 a month. So you can... With lightning fast fiber, Optimum Fiber, don't take slow for an answer. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
In today's evolving market, shaped by private equity and mega mergers, choosing the right accounting firm is more crucial than ever. At Anshin, a partner-owned firm since 1923, we take the time to understand your unique circumstances to develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a winning game plan, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, helping you recalculate what's possible.
While everyone is listening to the ballgame on the METS radio network, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, ELEC, is hard at work rebuilding our infrastructure. Whether it's transportation, water, or energy products, ELEC and the Operating Engineers 825 are ready to get to work building our bounce back.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or over cooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Well, it's a beautiful Sunday in Queens. Mets and Yankees coming up. Today's player to bank on brought to you by California Cryo Bank. Build your family with the #1 sperm bank in the world. Our player to bank on today, Pete Alonso. When a power hitter is in the makings of a big stretch, it's like surfing. You just try to ride the wave as long as you can. And after hitting just one home run in 23 games into yesterday, Alonso hit 2 against Yankee pitching. He could be in the beginning of one of these extended power stretches. We've got Chris Devenski and everybody else that Met bullpen against Yankees lefty Max Fried. That'll do it for the Mets pregame show. When we get back, Howie Rose joins us for lineups and first pitch between the Mets and the Yankees. Enjoy the ball game. Enjoy the holiday weekend. This has been the Mets pregame show on Odyssey Mets Radio.
This has been the Odyssey Mets pregame show, brought to you by Spectrum. Get fast and reliable speeds on the network that moves with you. Spectrum. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. Margaret Tietz Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Roto-Rooter. America's Neighborhood Plumber. Route 4 Hyundai. In Paramus, New Jersey. Invesco QQQ. The official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. Westbury Toyota, #1 in the tri-state and proud broadcast sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio. Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. And by ELEC 825, building our future. This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
When you're ready to replace windows in your home with Marvin Windows and Doors, the team at Riverhead Building Supply can help.
We know that the installation process can seem scary, but we'll put your mind at ease as we guide you through each step from selecting your new Marvin Windows and Doors to installing them in your home.
To learn more about Marvin Windows and our installation services, visit a Riverhead Building Supply location or rbscorp.com.
Fast starts, big wins. The season is in full swing, and so are the savings at Route 4 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Paramus. We are fully stocked with available no money down on all your favorites like the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now that's truly amazing. Bring us any advertised price. We'll show you why we're the better choice. Now during Employee Pricing Plus, visit ParamusJeep.com.
4 is always less for Paramus.
Available with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Baseball season is back and Key Food has all your essentials. Stop by your favorite store in the Key Food family of supermarkets. Key Food is a proud sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast is brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
It's 2025. New York Mets baseball on Odyssey Mets Radio.
Here's the first pitch. Nemo hits it high in the air, deep to right field, down the line, near the wall. Frelick back, gone! Grand slam! Brandon Nemo.
Swing and a drive, deep right center field. Harris back, this one is gone! Juan Soto gives the Mets the lead right back.
First pitch to Alonso, curve hit in the air, deep to left field. Back goes Conforto, and there she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Katie sends a high drive, right center field.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just...
Mets Baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Lower MSRP, bigger adventures. Hurry to your Nissan dealer for a test drive. Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Invesco Distributors, Inc. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Cadillac and your tri-state Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets. Thrivewell Infusion, the official IV partner of Mets Radio. Veg, ER for Pets. Official emergency veterinarian group of Mets Radio. Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. The Chef IQ Sense. Never under or overcook your chicken, fish, or meat again. Buy yours today at chefiq.com. Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K. To donate your car today. And by Sloman's. The difference is human.
From Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, welcome to New York Mets baseball. This afternoon, the Mets face the New York Yankees in the final game of this year's Subway Series. The starting pitchers for the Yankees, the outstanding left-hander Max Fried. And for the Mets, it's going to be a bullpen game, beginning with right-hander Chris Devinsky. Hi again, everyone. I'm Howie Rose along with Keith Radd. Well, the Mets have won the first two games of the Queens installment of the Subway Series after losing 2 of 3 in Yankee Stadium. So the Mets have won this series. They've got a chance for a season's victory in the Subway Series if they can win today and complete a 3-game sweep. But this one is going to be tough because they'll be facing Max Fried, certainly a contender for the Cy Young Award in the American League, and the Mets with an exhausted bullpen are really going to have to try to piece this one together. But the Mets come in just a half game out of first place behind the Phillies in the National League East. The Mets, who have won 4 straight, are 52-38, while the Yankees have lost 6 in a row, 16 of their last 22. They are 3 games behind the first place Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East. The Yankees at 48-41, actually tied with the Tampa Bay Rays. Our game time temperature is brought to you by Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for information and a dealer near you. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. Just another gorgeous summer afternoon here at Citi Field. 88 degrees at game time under sunny skies. We'll come back to look at that pitching matchup next on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Murano. Mets fans, when taking a charter bus, there's just one choice. Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in the city and has been serving New York's leading corporations.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out and wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark.
We've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that effort is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
This is MLB Network Talent Stars.
Okay.
The stars of MLB Network. Can I trade a pack of these for a signed Lauren Shahadi card?
How about we do a little bit of both? Money, a little trade.
Will you open it up and see if you like it?
They're really nice.
If I sign it, does that equal the Lauren Shahadi 20?
All right.
Do we have a good trade?
We have a good trade. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Nice doing business with you.
Series, Subway Series. And as far as the pitching matchup is concerned, well, no matter which metric you use, the pitching matchup certainly favors the Yankees this afternoon, Keith.
I think on paper and maybe in real life, yes, the answer is undoubtedly yes. Max Fried is excellent. The Mets have known that for a very, very long time. He was drafted by San Diego, never pitched for the Padres, but pitched for 8 years in Atlanta. And even including the one start that he made against the Mets at Yankee Stadium, he has faced this Mets team more than any other team in the game. More games, more innings. 24 games, 19 starts against the Mets, a 2.50 ERA, which is a half a run better than his lifetime ERA, which is still phenomenal at 2.97. And here's the one that you look at and you go, okay, Max Fried is really pretty good. Following a loss this year, a Yankee loss, Fried has been their stopper. He's 8-1 in 11 starts with a 1.34 ERA. We are telling you all this to let you know that Max Fried is very, very good. Tall task for the Mets. Meanwhile, Chris Davinsky, who threw 5 pitches yesterday, he's the first. We'll see a lot of Brandon Waddell. We'll see a lot of relievers today for the Mets. Can they match up? These are actually not easy games for Yankee hitters or any team to face up constantly against new arms, so who knows how the Mets fare in this one. That is today's pitching matchup, sponsored by Ridgewood Savings Bank, multiplying the good for over 100 years. Starting lineups, first pitch coming up. Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Murano.
Want to be a real MVP? At California Cryobank, we're looking...
I feel like food and sharing a meal with someone is a universal language. You can't go to a ballpark and not have a nice hot dog. So if I'm at the ballpark, I'm gonna get a nice heavy glizzy. You gotta have chili on there, you gotta have cheese. If your hot dog isn't bending in the middle because it's like about to fall apart, then you're not doing it right. So you gotta have a glizzy and then something cold, whatever it is, beer, lemonade. You gotta have something cold to wash that hot dog down with.
Gosh, we've gone to Sea Dogs games since we were kids.
I've been coming to see the Sea Dogs for the last 30 years. Great experience.
Everybody here is just bends over backwards to help people out and wish the world was like it is right here at the ballpark.
We've always wanted to be more than just a baseball team. We want to be strong, active, contributing members of the community. And I think that effort is seen by the people and the fans, and they want to support that effort.
Yeah, mine was a tops now as well. I hit my first walk-off last year against the Mets.
Jacob Young, Nationals win! Now he's got his first walk-off big league hit.
Dad had bought a stack of them. And I was like, I think we can get these results, but he went ahead and bought a stack for himself.
Like business cards. There you go.
But it was awesome just to, have that moment and have everyone so excited to, have a picture of you is a fun moment.
Massa first for the visiting Yankees, who are 48-41. They've lost 6 straight. Manager Aaron Boone has Paul Goldschmidt leading off, playing first base. Trent Grisham playing center field, batting second. Then the right fielder Aaron Judge hits third. Giancarlo Stanton hitting cleanup as the designated hitter. Cody Bellinger in left field bats fifth. Shortstop Anthony Volpe slots in sixth. DJ LeMahieu at second base batting seventh. Austin Wells catches and hits eighth. And the 9-man playing third base today, Oswald Peraza. Max Fried on the mound making his 19th start, 10-2 with a 2.13 earned run average. Now for the New York Mets, who have won 4 in a row. Starling Marte leads off for the Mets, who are 52-38. Marte's in left field today. The shortstop Francisco Lindor bats second. Juan Soto in right field batting third. Pete Alonso, a couple of home runs yesterday. He's at first base. He's the Mets cleanup hitter presented by Surf Pro. Cleanup, restoration, construction like it never even happened. Brandon Nimmo, the DH today, bats 5th. Mark Vientos bats 6th, plays 3rd. Center fielder Tyrone Taylor slots in 7th. Jeff McNeil hits 8th and plays 2nd base. And the catcher today for the finale, the 9-man, Hayden Sanger. And the first of many in this Johnny Holstaff day for the Mets will be veteran right-hander Chris Davinsky, making his 5th appearance with the New York Mets, former World Series champion and all-star with the Houston Astros. He was part of the equation yesterday. It'll be quite a complicated equation today for the Mets to try to go for the sweep. But a little bit of house money for the Mets. Certainly they want to go for the jugular today, and they have a chance to do that right here, right now. Paul Goldschmidt in that road Yankee jersey strolls to the righty batter's box under that flushing sunshine as we send it over to the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets. Here's Howie Rose.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. So the challenge begins with Chris Davinsky on the mound, and whether he is able to go beyond 1 inning remains to be seen. This will be a patchwork job to be sure on the mound for the Mets. But Davinsky set to go against Paul Goldschmidt leading off, right-hand batter, and the first pitch changeup over for a called strike. 0-1. Now, you know, Goldschmidt has been an MVP. He's been a Gold Glover. He's been a patient hitter, and that's why they're using him in the leadoff spot. He has struggled lately after a great start. The 0-1, and that's on the outside corner, a fastball, and it's 0-2 to Goldschmidt. 7 for his last 41, batting .282 with 8 home runs and 32 RBIs. The outfield is around towards right against him, and Davinsky's 0-2 pitch, swing and a little tapper foul over by the third base dugout. So it remains 0-2 on Goldschmidt. Trent Grisham is on deck, and then Aaron Judge here in the first inning. Judge had been hitting second the first 2 games of this series, dropped down to the 3-hole today. 0-2 the count. Davinsky deals. Breaking ball hit high in the air to center field, not terribly deep. In comes Taylor, and he makes the one-hand catch, 1 away. Let's look at the Mets' defensive alignment, brought to you by Orland & Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain, they've got specialists for that. Alonso at first, McNeil at second, Lindor at short, Vientos at third. Marte, Taylor, Soto left to right in the outfield. Nimmo's the DH today. And Hayden Sanger is back behind the plate. We were wondering yesterday if Luis Torrens might wind up catching all 3 games of this series. First pitch to Grisham, left-hand batter. Breaking ball, a sweeper in for a called strike, 0-1. And if you were paying attention yesterday, you'd probably remember that Luis Torrens really was dinged up back there. He took some foul balls that hurt him. The 0-1 to Grisham, tap foul, rolling behind home plate. It's 0-2. He's absolutely available today, but given the beating that he took behind the plate yesterday, I think that factored somewhat into the decision by Carlos Mendoza to sit Torrens at the start. Grisham batting .247, 16 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Well, those 16 home runs coming in fewer games than it hit him to hit less than that last year. It's been a totally different year offensively for Grisham. The 0-2 on the way. Swing and a liner towards left center. That's going to be in for a hit. Marte tries to cut it off in the gap. He does. Wheels and fires back in. And the cutoff man, Lindor, is able to leap to grab the throw and hold Grisham to a 1-out single. And that will bring up Aaron Judge. But again, 16 homers in 76 games for Grisham this year. He only hit 9 in the same amount of games last year. Home runs and Aaron Judge, they're synonymous. And here is Judge coming to the plate. Certainly a Triple Crown candidate. Batting .361 to lead the major leagues. Right-hand batter, the first pitch is high. A cutter, 1 ball and no strikes. He has 32 home runs, 3 behind the major league leader. Would you believe Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners? 71 RBIs, 3 behind Raleigh. 1-0 pitch. Judge takes a called strike, a changeup on the outside corner. And it's 1-1. Although Judge went 0 for 4 yesterday, he did draw a walk. He also drew blood, which we'll tell you about in a minute. But that walk means he's been on base 16 straight games. Quick throw to first by Davinsky, but Grisham's back standing. Remember, we were telling you yesterday that there was video beginning to circulate on social media because we didn't see it in real time. It was after an inning ended that a throw by Anthony Volpe actually hit Judge around the eye. The 1-1 swing and a miss at a cutter. And the count 1-2. It actually nicked him on his glasses, which is what really caused the cut to the eye. They taped it up, and he was fine, says he's fine, no issue with it. But it's kind of the way things have gone for the Yankees lately. Here's the 1-2, and Judge lifts it in the air to right field, pretty deep, looks playable though, it is. Soto waiting, makes the one-hand catch. 2 men away, and Grisham, who had been halfway, goes back to first.
I'll tell you, Davinsky has come out throwing strikes, 11 pitches, 10 of them in the zone. I mean, he's just doing what he wants to do right now. First of this bullpen game for the Mets. Davinsky is off to a pretty solid start here.
We expect that lefty Brandon Waddell will be the, quote, bulk man out of the pen for the Mets today. When that begins remains to be seen. Here is Giancarlo Stanton, right-hand batter, enormous power. First pitch taken for a strike, a cutter, 0-1. Stanton did not play yesterday. He didn't play in any of the first 70 games of this season because of problems with both elbows. He's got 1 home run since returning, and the 0-1 breaking ball hit deep to left field, but playable, hustling towards the line. Marte gets there and makes the catch, and that retires the side. Well, Davinsky throws strikes, 12 out of 13. And holds the Yankees to 1 hit, no runs, 3 fly ball outs. Middle of the first.
I want to ask you about food. What is something that you have to eat to be the judge?
Oh, Aaron Judge! Send him to Monument Park now!
We got some good chefs in New York. They've been cooking up some nice chopped cheeses, and that kind of, it gets you, I don't know if I should tell the kids that they should be eating chopped cheese before a game.
Before the game, probably steak. That's usually what I go to.
I like a steak. No vegetables.
No vegetables?
No vegetables.
Is it straight protein?
Yeah.
Fun and wows. And every wow in between. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Now is the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to peerlessboilers.com for more information and an installer near you. And remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers.
This Subway Series matchup is brought to you by Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experts at getting you back to being you.
Last of the first inning, the Yankees did not score in the top half. Starling Marte will lead off for the Mets against the outstanding left-hander from Southern California, Max Fried, who is 10-2 with a 2.13 earned run average. The Yankees really need him to be the stopper today that he's been all year. Facing Marte, and the first pitch fastball is outside, ball 1. In case you think you needed to go to the Q-tips and clean the ears out because you couldn't believe something that Keith said a little while ago, well, what Keith said is precisely accurate. The 1-0 to Marte, fastball in tight, ball 2. He is 8-1 with a 1.34 earned run average in, and this is really the key number, 11 starts after a Yankee loss. This is his 19th start of the year. Here's the 2-0 to Marte. Swinging a high foul ball going to the third base side, and that'll be out of play downstairs. The count 2 balls and 1 strike. Fried has been so good. He's all over the leaderboards. Tied for first in the majors with those 10 wins. Tied for second in the American League in earned run average with, guess who? Jacob deGrom. 2-1 to Marte. Now Fried with a right leg kick deals. And it's bunted, third base side. Fried off the mound in a hurry, but he can't field the ball. It goes off the edge of his glove, and Marte's got what probably will be a bunt single. It is a base hit for Marte, And so Fried, a left-hander who falls off to the third base side, would have had a play if he fielded that cleanly. Would have been close at first, but Marte gets credit for the bunt single, and that'll bring up Lindor.
And Fried is a 3-time Gold Glove winner, so you figured you have a lot of faith if you're a Yankee fan that he's going to make a play like that. But for the Mets, Marte gets it down, and again, setting the tone. Yesterday, it was Marte's double against Rodon, good pitcher, just to make some really stressful pitches. He's at first base to start this one today.
There's no question that the Yankees have struggled defensively this year. Fried usually immune to that. So here's Lindor batting right-handed. And the first pitch. Swing and a tapper foul, third base side. 0-1 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Fried's a big, lanky kid, but he also has a good move to first, so you've got to be careful. And Marte, even though his legs are not what they were, can steal a base. He's done that 4 times. 0-1, now the pitch. Taken inside, 1 ball and 1 strike on Lindor. Juan Soto on deck, and then Pete Alonso. Marte was so impressed by Soto's bunt yesterday that he decided to try it himself with the bases empty. 1-1. Now the pitch. Lindor takes a fastball inside, ball 2. Defensively, the Yankees have Goldschmidt at first, LeMahieu at second. They're Gold Glovers. Volpe, an excellent defender usually, at short. Peraza at third. Bellinger, Grisham, Judge left to right in the outfield. Wells catching Fried. 2-1 to Lindor. Fried to the belt. Throws to first. And Marte back standing. Marte wasn't very far off the bag at all. And Fried threw a bullet to first base. Goldschmidt's tag way too late, considering Marte was right there anyway. Outfield is straight away against Francisco, who was just 3 for 31 against Max Fried. 2-1. Here's pitch. Swing and a pop foul, straight back out of play. And it's 2-2 to Lindor. The umpires brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org. John Bacon has the plate. I guess that's fitting on a Sunday. Well, it's not morning anymore, but anyway, Brian Honora at first, Mike Estabrook at second, crew chief Laz Diaz at third. 2-2 to Lindor. Time, nope, pitch clock violation. Fried not happy about it, and he'll be charged with ball 3 here. I'm not sure if he thought that Lindor was in the process of calling timeout, because Fried pointed to Lindor right away. And Austin Wells, the catcher, is having a word with John Bacon, too. But, the umpire just gets the signal.
Antoine Richardson, too. He caught my attention, the first base coach, who was also pointing at his watch. And now Fried has come down to talk to John Bacon here at home plate.
As much as anything, Aaron Boone wants to save his pitcher here.
Well, you know what? They just told Soto, who's in the on-deck circle, to move away toward the on-deck circle, because I guess the clock is there. Are they maybe contending that Fried can't see the clock because Soto's standing in the way? Oh, no, Bacon just told Soto to move over.
I love it. I mean,
this is great, huh?
The stuff that you deal with in a baseball game now that you didn't just a few years ago. Who was it? Adrian Beltre, who was once... he just picked it up and moved it.
And then got probably moved out of the game, ejected.
Yeah. 3-2 to Lindor because of that pitch clock violation. Will Marte run? First the throw over, and again Marte standing on the bag. So now Fried is disengaged twice. And whether that encourages Marte to go or not, we'll see. He's not been able to get much of a lead here against Fried. Soto on deck, no score. Marte at first, no out, bottom 1. Fried to the belt. Marte a short lead. He's not running, and the pitch swung out and missed, strike 3. Got him with a cutter. And Lindor down on strike, so he's now 3 for 32 against Max Fried. 1 away, and here comes Juan Soto.
Well, with Fried, it's just everything he throws is nasty in and of itself. So it's not as if you're sitting there, okay, let me pick out the fastball. That's hard to hit. Let me pick out the cutter. Hard to hit. The curve, the slow curve, they're all difficult pitches on their own.
Soto picked one out in the first inning Friday and homered. Left-hand batter, and another throw to first. And again, Marte is barely off the bag. So that's one disengagement before a pitch is even delivered to Soto. But Fried's spending an awful lot of time here trying to keep Marte close. Marte now stretches his lead out a bit. I think it's the biggest he's had so far. And it's just medium-sized. First pitch. Soto takes a breaking ball that's high, a curve, 1-0. And that curveball is a real good pitch for Max Fried. Started throwing it as a young age because his dad, Southern California, was a big Sandy Koufax fan. Koufax with one of the great curveballs of all time, another left-hander. The 1-0, Marte runs. Pitch taken for a strike. Throw by Wells. It's close. And safe is the call. At first it appeared that he was ready, meaning Mike Estabrook, the second base ump, to call Marte out the way he pointed at him. And I guess the question was, would Marte hold on to the bag? He did. I don't know if the Yankees are going to challenge here, but it's a stolen base for Starling Marte.
Well, he's the active leader in stolen bases at 36 years old. This is stolen base number 359. And Volpe actually stepped on Marte's hand diving in, and he's got that oven mitt on, which protects against that, but he still got there first.
So, runner in scoring position for Soto. 1-1 the count. The pitch, swinging a grounder foul down the first baseline, and it's 1-2. Somehow, Juan Soto is hitting just .178 this year with men in scoring position. So he's got one here with Marte at second. He did have an RBI single in the 8th inning yesterday. Mentioned the 2-run homer he hit in the first inning on Friday. 1-2 to Soto. Outfield straight away. Here's the pitch. In tight with a sinker. 2-2. Soto batting in the meat of the order, presented by the Chef IQ Sense cooking thermometer that pairs with your phone and ensures you never overcook or undercook your chicken, fish, or meat. Again, buy one at chefiq.com. 2-2 to Soto. Fried ready. Marte a short lead now. Grows it a bit. Here's a pitch. In the dirt, ball 3, a sweeper.
Howie, just one thing on that Marte stolen base at second. I mentioned Volpe stepped on Marte's hand. The umpire at second, the reason Estabrook was pointing, I think he was calling obstruction on Volpe for being in the way, in the line of the bag where Marte was sliding in. So that may be part of the call too, but Marte had beaten it anyway.
All right, we've heard nothing about that being an official ruling, but in any event, Marte's at second, 1 out. Check and see if that is in fact what happened. 3-2 to Soto. Outfield is deep. Here's the pitch. Swing on a high fly ball to right center field, not terribly deep. Center fielder Grisham lines it up, makes the one-hand catch, fires in quickly as Marte stays at second. And now there are 2 men away, and Pete Alonso coming up. The Amazing Mets Foundation 50-50 raffle gives fans a unique opportunity to support the foundation's vital work while also winning cash prizes. This weekend Subway Series 50-50 jackpot continues to build, and one winner will be drawn later today after the 6th inning. At last check, the jackpot is now $135,000. Here's Alonso, first pitch. Taken high, a fastball, ball 1. Fans can get their raffle tickets at Mets.com/50-50 for their opportunity to join the ranks of record-breaking winners. Mets nothing, Yankees nothing. 2 out, last of the first. Marte at second. Fried to the belt. Outfield a step towards right. The pitch. Away upstairs. Goes to the backstop. Ricochets so hard that it winds up coming right back to Fried to the right of the mound. But Marte goes to third on the wild pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Wells, the catcher back there, I don't know if he knew a fastball was coming because he was very slow to reach up that glove, or Fried just airmailed this thing. Yeah, Wells got his glove up, but not fast enough. That's how high it was, right over the umpire, John Bacon's head. And again, as you mentioned, so high it bounced off the brick, came right back out of the mound.
2-0 to Alonso. Nimmo on deck. Here's the pitch. Fastball over, a called strike, 2-1. So that's 18 pitches thrown by Fried, only half for strikes, and that's not Max Fried. He's only walked 23 batters in 114 2/3 innings. That's a whip of a little under 1. 2-1 the count. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul to the first base side past a ducking Antoine Richardson. And it's 2-2. The whip is walks and hits per innings pitched. It's only given up, including today, 85 hits in 114 2/3 innings with just 23 walks. His whip coming in 0.94. That's not just good, it's elite. So, 2-2. Marte at third, 2 out. No score, bottom 1. Freed to the belt. Now the pitch. Swing and a fly ball to center, moving to his right. Grisham, and he makes the one-hand catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit. One man left at the end of one. The Yankees nothing, the Mets nothing. No.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
On the mound, as they are really short in the bullpen and the rotation. Cody Bellinger leads off, left-hand batter, takes changeup low for ball one. Bellinger on an 11-game hitting streak, batting .268, 13 homers, 47 runs batted in. Left-hand hitter, big power. Davinsky deals. Swinging a bouncing ball to the right side. Alonso to his right, backhands. Lead Davinsky to the bag. He's right there, and there's one man away.
The amount of outs you could just get out of one guy, just keep stacking them as much as humanly possible. When you play a bullpen game, it's Russian roulette sometimes. You never know who's going to have it or not have it. So while you have a guy throwing strikes, use it up as much as possible.
And for the most part, the Yankee lineup is right, left, right, left, right, left. It's not exclusively that way because you have Volpe and LeMahieu back-to-back. Anthony Volpe coming up now with LeMahieu on deck, both right-hand batters. First pitch to Volpe taken for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Volpe hit a home run yesterday, but he's just 6 for 44 over his last 12 games, batting .222. 10 homers, 47 RBIs. The 0-1, up and into him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Second inning is powered by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. The 1-1. Missed outside with a changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike to Volpe. Mets have Zach Pop up in their bullpen, a right-hander who's not yet made his Mets debut. 2-1 on the way, foul back to the screen. A cutter that was up and in, and maybe out of the strike zone, right around the top of it anyway, and Volpe went after it and fouled it back. It's conceivable, we don't know this for certain, but you can kind of do the math yourself if you've been paying attention the last few days of who might not be available today. 2-2 to Volpe is high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. If Edwin Diaz were to get up and pitch today, that would be 4 times in 5 days, and I would say that's unlikely. Payoff pitch to Volpe, swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a changeup away. First strikeout for Davinsky. 2 men away. DJ LeMahieu coming up. Remember, yesterday, Ryan Stanek needed 37 pitches to get through the 8th inning. And if he had allowed 1 more base runner, meaning if he didn't get Anthony Volpe to win that top of the 8th inning, Edwin Diaz, who was up anyway, would have been in the game in the 8th inning. Here's LeMahieu. First pitch in for a called strike, 0-1. If Stanek had been able to work a pretty clean inning and they didn't have to get Diaz up, well, then might not have needed him for the 9th, and he might be available today. We don't know for certain, but we kind of doubt it. The 0-1 pitch, LeMahieu takes fastball high and away, ball 1. Stanek won't be available. Reed Garrett threw 2 innings on Friday. Certainly questionable about his availability. So 1-1 to LeMahieu. Here's the pitch. Way outside with a cutter, 2-1. Volpe, the first Mets strikeout of the game, brought to you by Weichert Realtors. Don't settle for a good agent. Go for a great one at Weichert.com. Mets nothing, Yankees nothing. 2 out, nobody on, top second. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a pop foul. Going back into the seats, first base side. Right at the back of the field level seats. And it's 2-2 to LeMahieu. He's won a couple of batting titles. He's won some gold gloves. And he's been swinging a good bat lately. He's also 4 for 4, including a homer against Davinsky. 2-2 the count. Now the pitch. Breaking ball in there. Strike 3 called. A sweeper over the outside corner. And that retires the side. 2 strikeouts for Davinsky. He'll take his temperature in the dugout. Hey, kid, you got another one in you?
Now representing the organization, Jim Leland and A.J. Hinch are presenting Miggy with a customized set of cleats made by renowned artist Marco Terzo, made from several significant baseballs from Miguel's career. The cleats are presented on a base representing the time he spent at both third and first base in his career.
All right, Ryan, PSA dove in. Do we have them graded?
We do. This is the first set of graded cards from the 2024 Topps MLB Network set.
I'm so excited about this. Now, they all have the same grade, or?
No.
So one of us will be like the highest graded card.
Could be. There could be multiple. So first up, we got Mark DeRosa.
See what D-Rose. Of course, D-Rose a 10 out of 10. Handsome, athletic. All right.
The Mets nothing. The Mets nothing. Yankee manager Aaron Boone was out talking to home plate ump John Bacon between half innings, most likely about that on-deck situation, perhaps obscuring the pitch clock if that's what caused the hubbub in the first inning, and ultimately a ball charge to Fried. Well, he's facing Brandon Nimmo to lead off, left on left, and the first pitch is a sweeper that's high for ball 1. Nimmo 2 for 4, including a grand slam yesterday, becoming the 5th Met to hit 3 grand slams in a season, 2 of them this week. 1-0 to Nimmo. Now the pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball, 1-1. John Milner was the first to do it in 1976. Robin Ventura did it in 1999, and Ventura hit 2 of them in one day, one in each game of a doubleheader at Shea Stadium against the Milwaukee Brewers. A 1-1 to Nimmo. Swinging a high pop-up, shallow right, backpedaling LeMahieu, shading his eyes, reaches and makes the catch as he tumbles to the ground. He was fighting the sun all the way. He had support coming in from right in Aaron Judge. Even Goldschmidt, the first baseman, was out there, but in the end, it was going to be LeMahieu or no one, and that was 15 rounds of boxing against the sun for DJ LeMahieu. So, 1 away. You think he was in the sun? Well, Nimmo was in our 5th batter spotlight, presented by Key Food. First pitch to Mark Vientos in tight for ball 1. Look for all of your favorite products at your local Key Food and their family of supermarkets. Vientos struggling, although he did hit a few balls especially hard yesterday. The 1-0, bounce towards third, that's a foul ball. Going down the line and the count 1-1. Second inning powered by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF of the New York Mets. Tomorrow's innovation awaits with Invesco QQQ. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors Incorporated. Mark batting just .214. Here's the 1-1. Holds up at a pitch down and away. A changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Max Fried's body language suggests frustration. He thought John Bacon should have at least asked for help from first base ump Brian O'Nora on the check swing, but it's 2-1. Outfield around towards right. Here's the pitch. Vientos taps it past the mound out towards short. Volpe charges, fields, throws wide of first, off the bag to get it is Goldschmidt, and he tags Vientos to complete the play. So Vientos is out, 2 men away. Tyrone Taylor coming up.
Well, we saw a play like that yesterday with Volpe on a ground ball through wide of the bag. Bellinger had to rescue it. This time Goldschmidt has to rescue it. And that was interesting because Vientos does not run very well, so I think Volpe didn't realize that. He had a little more time than he thought and almost rushed that throw too much.
Here's Tyrone Taylor, the center fielder, who usually hits the Yankees well, but not this weekend, not yet anyway. He's 0 for his last 14 overall. First pitch, fastball in for a called strike, 0-1. Taylor wearing the number 15 that Carlos Beltran wore for the Mets when he had been the most recent Met to hit 3 grand slams in a year in 06. Mike Piazza also did it in 2000. The 1-0, big wave and a miss at a big curve. And the count 1-1. Haven't seen that curveball all that much in the early going here from Max Fried. Among the 28 pitches that he's thrown, so no problem with his pitch count. 2 out, nobody on. Last of the second, Yankees and Mets are scoreless. The 0-2 pitch taken outside. Curveball again. And it's 1-2. Jeff McNeil waiting on deck. Now Fried with a right leg kick deals. Swing and a foul straight down at home plate. Picked up by the catcher Austin Wells. Mets will travel tonight, or at least after this game. They're going to Baltimore, which is not generally a very long or complicated trip. And they will take the day off in Baltimore tomorrow before beginning a 3-game series with the Orioles. And then to Kansas City next weekend for the final series before the All-Star break. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball somewhere. Ball 2. Well,
a little touch high, but that looked pretty close.
I guess so. Again, we watch it from behind home plate until we can quickly glance at the replay from the center field camera, which sometimes belies what we think we see with a naked eye from back here. 2-2 now, the pitch to Taylor. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Fastball up, and that retires the side. 2 strikeouts for Fried, nothing across at the end of 2. Yankees.
Fried left on left. First pitch from Fried. Breaking ball swoops in for a strike. That slow Fried 76-mile-an-hour curve drops into the bottom of the zone for a called strike 1 on McNeil. Now, not many have had good head-to-head numbers against Max Fried, but McNeil's got pretty good numbers. Here's the 0-1. Swatted foul behind home plate, and it's 0-2. McNeil just one-on-one with Fried, 11 for 32. That's an at-bat better than 333, and he's had 3 doubles. Again, that's left on left as well. Infield back around to the right, playing Jeff to pull. The wind-up and the 0-2. Line foul behind home plate again, and it stays no balls and 2 strikes. Jeff yesterday was 0 for 3. Did get hit by a pitch late, but he was absolutely the hero on Friday afternoon in the opener of this series. The late 2-run home run to give the Mets a 6-5 lead and eventual win. Mets going for the sweep today against the Yankees. 0-2. In the dirt, missed low and away with a slider. That's a ball and 2 strikes. So the Mets have been winning on this homestand. They took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee, have taken at least 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Still a half game behind Philadelphia. Phillies in the top spot in the National League East, playing Cincinnati in the finale today down at Citizens Bank Park. No score, bottom 3. Good pitching matchup. Chase Burns against Zach Wheeler. Burns, a young rookie right-hander who made his debut against the Yankees. 1-2. McNeil chops it foul over near Hayden Senger in the on-deck circle. That saves the ball in 2 strikes. Scoreboard update sponsored by Nissan. Nissan is here to help you save this summer with lower MSRPs on Rogue and Pathfinder. The possibilities are endless. Visit your local dealer today. Deep breath from Fried. Bends in for the sign. Into the wind he goes. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt. Picked up by Wells, the catcher. Steps in front of the plate. Throws down in time to get McNeil, who strikes out on that slow curve in the dirt. Third strikeout for Fried. Put out, by the way, goes 2-3. So here's Hayden Senger with the Mets chasing 1. Bottom of the 3rd. Mention some other scores. Baltimore and Atlanta played that early game, that Sunday 11 or so o'clock game. Baltimore won 2-1, so the Braves continue to fade. Pitch to Sanger, the righty. Check swing on a pitch that's in there anyway. And the count 0-1. With the loss today, Atlanta's now 39-50. So that is 11 under. The Mets right now into play today, 14 over. Big deficit. 0-1. Way inside. Sanger takes near his belt. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Trevor Rogers, the former Miami Marlin, was excellent today for Baltimore. 6 2/3 for the Orioles, but that means the Mets will miss him as the series of Camden Yards will begin on Tuesday for 3. Fried deep breath deals the 1-1. Sanger takes up and in with a fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Baltimore 40-49. They're in last in the American League East behind Boston, Tampa, the Yankees, and of course the first place Toronto Blue Jays, who have won 7 in a row. 2-1 to Sanger. Fouled back this way under our booth and right downstairs. 2-2 on Sanger. Angels up 1-0 on Toronto today. Early there, north of the border, bottom of the 3rd inning. Tyler Anderson against Kevin Gossman. Mike Trout is at his 14th home run to get the scoring started for the Angels. Fried's 2-2. Sanger waits on the curve, hits it out to center field. Grisham comes creeping in to make the catch. And there's 2 gone. Now, the Mets knew this was going to happen. Everybody knows it's going to happen against Max Fried. Just hard to square him up. If you get a chance, you've got to go for it. The Mets had one in the first inning when Marte laid down a butt base hit to get on. Stole second, moved over on a wild pitch, but couldn't come in. That was the best chance for the Mets. Here's Marte again, second AB. Mets down a run. 1-0 Yankees, bottom 3. First pitch, swing and a miss at a sinker. 0-1. Marte got to third, but he was in scoring position with Soto, who flew out, and then Alonso had him at third base, but he also flew out. Wind up from Fried, the pitch to the righty. Swing and a miss at a slider away, and it's 0-2. Well, Fried is an ace, which means, okay, you got a base runner. That doesn't mean you're home free. You got to still score against guys like Max Fried. It's pitched to a 2.08 ERA as we play today. 2 outs. Here's the 0-2. Marte reaches and loops one to shallow right field. Judge coming on. This is going to duck in for a hit. Well, Marte continues to find his way on base. Another 2-hit day. First a bunt base hit. Now a bloop single. Sometimes that's all it takes. And he is on yet again as Francisco Lindor strolls in. Marte yesterday, 2 for 3, double, single, RBI, and a run scored. And he's one of those guys where he's in the leadoff spot. You're going, okay, 36-year-old Starling Marte playing a part-time role position this year. See what he's got. And he's been great setting the table. So now Lindor, Mets chasing 1. Francisco batting right-handed. Pitch. Swing and a miss late on the sweeper. And it's 0-1. Hey guys, no matter what side of the bridge you're on, you can make a difference in up to $2,400 a month as a sperm donor with California Cryobank. Go to spermbank.com to learn more. Lindor struck out his first time. Fried has 3 Ks today. 1-0 Yankees on an Austin Wells home run. 2 outs, runner at first. Fried staring down Marte. Deals home. And Lindor pops it foul. And it's 0-2. And Lindor, after his strikeout in the first inning, 3 for 32 lifetime against Fried. And you could see it a little bit. Lindor is just trying to find the release point, pick it up. I mean, some guys are just difficult to match up with. It sounds a broken record, but Lindor just trying to pick out a pitch against Fried. 0-2, here it comes. That's line foul to the right and out of play. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, T-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Mets gear. Marte strides off first. Goldschmidt holding him on. Fried comes set, belt high. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Lindor. Pitch home. Sails high. Fastball. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Juan Soto on deck. Mets are getting Brandon Waddell up in their bullpen. We saw Zach Pop throw the 3rd inning. Right now the Mets trying to do something against Fried. Here's the 1-2. Missed outside a curve. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if the bullpen, which again has been Davinsky to Pop to potentially Waddell to start the next inning, and the bullpen could just keep it close enough while the offense maybe drives up the pitch count on Fried, sees that Yankee bullpen earlier. That's somewhat of the game plan too today. A step off but no throw as Marte is looked back to first by Fried, who cocked his arm back but didn't actually throw over. First disengagement for Fried in this plate appearance. Marte, last time he was on, stole second. The active leader in steals in the majors. 2-2 in the dirt, blocked by Wells. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Should say the career active stolen base leader. He's at 359 steals. The guy who's second on that list, 35-year-old Jose Altuve. He's got 321 of them. Now Marte, still some speed to flash at 36 years old. Leads off first base. Lindor's run it to 3-2. 2 outs, Marte will be running. Payoff pitch. Popped up toward first. Goldschmidt fighting the sun, walking to the first base coaching box, makes the catch in foul territory. And the inning is over. Max Fried remains tough as nails. Strands are up.
Well, this is the most famous jersey in baseball, right? The Yankee pinstripes, the interlocking NY, and the Midnight Navy. I was a Yankee fan growing up my whole life, die-hard, and became a free agent after 7 years with the Rockies, and I wanted to be a Yankee so bad. Putting this jersey on for a headshot for the first time, it felt different than any other shirt I'd ever put on in my career.
Donate your car today. 1-0 Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton leads off. First pitch from Zach Pop. Misses low with a 96-mile-an-hour sinker. 1 ball and no strikes. So for Pop, now 15 pitches. He is contestant number 2 in the bullpen game today for the Mets to give up the home run to Austin Wells last inning. There's the 1-0. Stanton crushes one down the left field line. It is a fair ball. One hopper off the fence. He may only get a single out of this. Takes a turn. Marte's throw on the way, and he slides in safely with a double. That was another Stanton missile where it was, again, hit so hard that it bounced off the wall and came out to Marte, who turned and fired to McNeil, and it was just a little bit offline. So Stanton does have a double to lead it off in the 4th inning.
Again, you go back to the 3rd inning. When Pop gave up a home run to the first batter, he faced Austin Wells. There were very hard-hit balls against Pop, as Stanton's was as well.
Here's Bellinger, first pitch, a little bit high and away to the lefty. 1 ball and no strikes. The Yankees constructed their lineup expecting to see Brandon Waddell as the bulk reliever, 3 innings, maybe 2 or 3 times through the order, probably 2, for being honest. Here's the 1-0. Bellinger lines one over, second into shallow right, base hit in front of Soto. Stanton goes to third base. He's never been a speed demon. Was not going to score on that. So Bellinger singles, first and third, nobody out. And Anthony Volpe coming up, and certainly a pickle for Pop. in this fourth inning with the Yankees ahead 1-0. So again, the Yankees constructed their lineup with a lot of righties, expecting to see Waddell. So there are a lot of people amongst the Yankee fans going, why does the lineup look the way it is? All these righties against Davinsky. Well, Davinsky's just a placeholder until the lefty. But the Mets aren't going to go there yet. So Pop has to get out of trouble here. Nobody out. First and third. Alonso holding on the runner at first. Vientos is playing in at third. Middle infielders are back. It's been a throw to first. Bellinger back in standing. Lindor is playing back, so is McNeil. The Mets are going to trade a double play ball for a run. And again, Stanton, who's never been fast, never pretended to be fast, is at third base. So you never know on a ground ball. Pitch. Strike. Steer to the outside corner. 97-mile-an-hour sinker. 0-1 on Volpe. Now's the perfect time to get a Peerless Boiler. Don't wait. Go to peerlessboilers.com for more information and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. Pop comes set. First base side of the rubber. Holds. Deals. Misses outside. Great backhand stop by Sanger. Reaching to the lefty batter's box to field it on the pick. Now 1-1 on Volpe. Sanger is excellent back behind home plate. He and Terens are two great defensive catchers. Francisco Alvarez getting right down at AAA Syracuse. 1-1 pitch. Volpe grounds one right side. McNeil to his left has it. Throws to second for one. Lindor has no other play. No throw to first. So Volpe reaches. Drives in Stanton with an RBI fielder's choice. He scores from third, and it's 2-0 Yankees in the top of the fourth. So for Volpe, his 48th RBI. The Mets tried to get a double play out of that, but with McNeil having to go all the way to his left to grab it, spin, and throw, Volpe just way too fast to double up. So he's the only remaining base runner, is Volpe at first. And here's DJ LeMahieu. Pitch. Strike outside corner, 0-1. The Amazing Mets Foundation 50-50 raffle still going, giving fans a unique opportunity to support the Foundation's vital work while also winning cash prizes. Remember, it is a full weekend 50-50. Winner will be announced today. 0-1. Missed down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. After the sixth inning today, a growing jackpot over the first 2 days will be handed out. I'll be doing my best. Johnny Gilbert. Cash winnings total $146,000. Go to Mets.com/5050. LeMahieu calls for time. That's Johnny Gilbert, of course, from Jeopardy. I told you how I'm a Jeopardy nerd.
Oh, yeah.
When Johnny Gilbert's the one that introduces, now Ken Jennings. I love that guy, Johnny Gilbert. 1-1 on LeMahieu. Struck out looking his first time. 2-0 Yankee lead. Volpe can run. He's at first. There he goes. Pitch is caught on and maybe not fouled off, but off the glove of the catcher, Sanger. Volpe gets to second anyway. It looked like it might have been foul tipped there, but it just simply went off of Sanger's glove as LeMahieu swung at it. So it is a strike and also a stolen base for Volpe.
Before Johnny Gilbert, there was a fellow named Johnny Olson who would be in a similar role. This is Johnny Olson speaking.
Lindor standing on second base, holding on the runner. The 1-2 misses low with a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, Jeopardy world misses Alex Trebek mightily. A great Canadian, but a great American host of Jeopardy, which is my off-season, 7 o'clock. Got to do something. I do this every night at 7 o'clock. Got to do something in the off-season at 7 o'clock. 2-2. Foul back, top of the screen, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. And do you ever have any interest in something like that, and they've always plucked people from different careers to host a game show.
Oh, I don't think I could have pulled that off.
No?
Nah, you got to be really slick. I'm not slick.
Al Borland, Richard Karn, our buddy, he was hosting Family Feud for a while. I think he was better at hosting Tool Time, but I think you could have pulled it off.
Not my Mayu.
Here's the 2-2 to LeMahieu. Is grounded toward third base. Here comes Vientos. Bare hands. Throws to first. Not in time. LeMahieu reaches. And Volpe goes to third. So a chopping infield single for LeMahieu has made things kind of tough here for Zach Pop, but he's not the one that's going to get out of this. Here comes Carlos Mendoza to go to our next contestant. Yankees have a 2-0 lead. We're in the top of the fourth. 1 out. Runners at first and third. Austin Wells coming up, and his pitching change and slow down in action is brought to you by Iservay.
Think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget? Think again. Sloman's is here to change the game with sizzling summer.
This pitching change is sponsored by River Spring Living. See what makes life at River Spring Living special. Visit riverspringliving.org today. The new pitcher for the Mets, number 3, is Brandon Waddell. He's officially number 82, but pitcher number 3 in this reliever day. Davinsky for 2, Zach Pop for an inning and a third. And this is that inning that Pop could not complete. Yankees have already scored a run. Volpe and RBI fielder's choice. Volpe's at third, LeMahieu's at first, 1 out. Waddell comes in to face the lefty Austin Wells. Middle infield is back looking for a double play. First pitch, Wells takes a strike on the inside corner up near his hands, and it's 0-1. Wells led off the third inning. He was the first batter that Zach Pop pitched to, and Wells took the second pitch and, popped it into right field for a solo home run. 0-1. Reached for, grounded right side. McNeil all the way to his left. Fields throws to second for the out there, but nothing further. Another run crosses as Volpe scampers home from third. You can give Wells his second RBI of the day. RBI fielder's choice. 3-0 Yankees in the top of the fourth, and there's 2 outs. So the Mets have been playing back, trying to get themselves a double play to get out of the inning, but both of the balls that have potentially been double play balls have made McNeil move, and that's the opposite of what you want. So McNeil had to go all the way to his left. And now here's Oswald Peraza. Pitch in for a strike to the righty, and it's 0-1. So we'll see a lot of Brandon Waddell at this point. He has had some good outings for the Mets. Has not made an official start yet. 0-1. Missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike, but 3 innings the other day in Milwaukee. Game 1 of that doubleheader. He was terrific last Saturday in Pittsburgh. I know there wasn't a lot of terrific things that came out of that weekend, but he did great. 3 scoreless against the Pirates. The 1-1. Reached for, grounded foul down the third base line, and it's ball and 2 strikes on Peraza. So Waddell 1 strike away from getting out of this 4th inning. And I told you at the top of the show it'd be really tough for the Mets with how they have to handle their pitching staff today. And the Met offense facing the very tough Max Fried. 1-2. Peraza shoots it in the air to right field, sending Soto backpedaling toward the track, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. Yankees grab 2 runs on 3 hits, leave a man, and take a 3-0 lead.
So this is MLB Network Talent Stars.
Okay.
The stars of MLB Network. Can I trade a pack of these for a signed Lawrence Shahadi card?
How about we do a little bit of both? Money, a little trade.
Will you open it up and see if you like it?
They're really nice.
If I sign it, does that equal the Lawrence Shahadi 20?
All right.
Do we have a good trade?
We have a good trade. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Nice doing business with you.
Some overnight oats right before the game. My teammates look at me like, what are you doing, dude?
My mom's cooking, probably. She makes some good. She's got a tuna fish casserole. That's pretty good.
Okay, I went 5 for 5. I need to eat the same thing. Last time, Saturday, I ate arepa with eggs. And then next day, I gotta eat arepa with eggs. So my mom make it for me. And then when my mom is with me,
everything's good.
I save a lot of money.
Estamos leyendo.
Just for you. Join the millions of Mets fans that make Bigelow #1 in New York. Bigelow Tea, the official tea of Odyssey Mets Radio. Sloman's is offering a free home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Relive Mets history today in every game, powered by #1 Westbury Toyota.
Bottom of the fourth inning is brought to you by Route 4 Hyundai in Paramus, New Jersey. Mets chasing 3 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. It is 3-0 Yankees. Austin Wells with a homer. Also drove in a run in that fourth inning against Zach Pop. Pop ended up giving up all 3 in an inning and a third. But he's done. Brandon Waddell is in there now. And Max Fried goes back out there for the Yankees in the bottom of the fourth. And it'll be the heart of the order here. Soto, Alonso, and Nimmo. Second swings against Fried. Fried against the Mets back in May. Did give up runs. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. Actually left the game. It was tied 2-2. And then the Yankees would score really late in that one to run away with it 8-2. So nothing yet for the Met offense. But again, the big hitters are up. So here's Soto. First pitch left on left. In for a strike, 0-1. Soto just kind of stepped out as that pitch was on its way in. That's what I've found about watching Soto every single day, is he's such a great hitter, obviously. He always gives the pitcher strike one, every single time. He rarely swings at the first pitch. Here's the 0-1 to him. Strike on the outside corner, a sweeper, and it took a second there for John Bacon to give the call. Soto didn't love that, and now calls for his time. Low and away sweeper that must have just got a seam to dust a piece of that outside corner. 0-2 on Juan, who flew out to center his first time. Infield back around to the right. Fried has his sign, leans back and comes home. Missed down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I found out yesterday the baseball world lost Bobby Jenks, closer from that 2005 Chicago White Sox team. I'd have seen that news yesterday, and for those that, it's kind of my era, Bobby Jenks was only 44 years old, passed away from stomach cancer. Tough news. There's the 1-2. Soto strikes out swinging, fastball away at 96, and there's 1 gone. So Fried with his 4th strikeout. And I bring that up, of course, because it was pretty big news that a World Series closer passed away, but friends over at ESPN put out a tweet that said Bobby Jenks, 2-time All-Star pitcher for the White Sox, who was on the roster when the franchise won the World Series, died on Friday.
That's brutal.
Here's Alonso. First pitch, fastball's in for a strike, 0-1. I mean, come on.
Typically brutal.
The guy on the roster was in the city when they won it. He was the closer. He got the final few outs. There's the 0-1 to Pete. Missed high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike, 3-0 Yankees, bottom of the fourth. And I forgot this until I saw the clip yesterday. I remember Bobby Jenks being a really big guy. Ozzie Guillen managed that team, and in game 1 of that World Series, there's the 1-1. Missed outside, 2 balls and a strike. He went out to the mound late in game 1, and he went to signal to the bullpen, and instead of using the hand, he put his hands up high and then his hands out wide. Give me the big fella. There's the 2-1 to Alonso. Grounded to third. Right there, Peraza steps into it. Throws across in time. Down goes Alonso. 2 away in this 4th inning. Sad to hear the passing of Bobby Jenks. And I will say, that 2005 White Sox World Series, probably one of the more forgotten about World Series in the last 20 or 30 years. Well, actually 20 years this year. And the White Sox beat the Astros. Here's Brandon Nimmo, takes his time before stepping into this at-bat. Batting right after Alonso, who is the cleanup hitter, brought to you by Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood plumber. 3-0 Yankees. Mets held to just 2 hits today, both off the bat of Starling Marte. Pitch to Nimmo. Missed outside, a cutter. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Nimmo popped out to second base his first time up. That was the LeMahieu ball, where DJ went back to shallow right and kind of made the catch and went into a fall. 1-0. Slow breaking ball, misses up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. There's not really much wind today. You can see all the American flags dotting the roof out in left field above the big out-of-town scoreboard. A couple of them are flapping away. Others are just softly resting. Fried winds the 2-0. Swing and a miss. High cutter. That's 2-1. With Fried so on, you can see him doing things in this stretch of hitters. Or this inning, I'm going to be heavy cutter. This inning, I'll be heavy curve. This inning, I'll be heavy two-seamer. He's tough, man. He is tough. Here's the 2-1. Way outside with a fastball at 96. And it's 3-1. For the Yankees, they're almost desperate for him to have a good game, get them back on the winning side. They have lost 6 games in a row. They are 3 back of Toronto. They had a 7-game lead in the division, and now their largest deficit. 3-1. Outside, ball 4. A little daylight here as Nimmo works a 2-out walk. And Max Fried's always had pinpoint accuracy, rarely walks hitters. Just the 24th walk in 117 innings. And Nimmo's on. That'll bring up the righty, Mark Vientos. Vientos with the sunglasses on, pops into that righty batter's box. Mets chasing 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nimmo takes his lead. Fried staring him down. Slow leg lift. Pitch coming. Missed outside, a sinker. 1 ball, no strikes. The Yankees just yesterday announced that they lost Clark Schmidt to the inevitable Tommy John surgery that'll end this season, and we heard even next season, which is brutal. Fried's 1-0 pitch to Vientos. Slow curve, high and outside. All of a sudden, it's 2-0 on Vientos.
Hey, look at the timing involved. You know, we're in July now, and generally they talk about, what, a 12 to 14 or 15-month rehab. So, yeah, that's quite plausible that he would miss all of next season, too.
Big blow for him. 2 outs, 2-0. Kick throw to first, and Nimmo reads it well. Walks back in safely.
Hey, speaking of guys in Tommy John surgery and those who have had difficulty, have you seen anything yet on Noah Syndergaard? Has he gotten into a minor league game for the White Sox?
I have not. I know he was signed to that deal, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now. 2-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Let's find out here. Yeah, he actually pitched on the 4th of July, 4 scoreless innings for a complex league ball. So that's 2 for him out there. 2-1. In tight, 3 balls and a strike. So Vientos has got himself into a good count. So yeah, Syndergaard late June, 3 scoreless innings. Regular rest, came back out, 4 scoreless innings. And again, it's against complex hitters, so probably the teenage kids out in Arizona. But maybe something left in the tank for Noah Syndergaard this year. 3-1. Chopper hit off the mound. Fried fields, turns, looks to first, fires a strike, and gets Vientos to end the inning, making up for that bunt Marte laid down in the first that Fried mishandled. So a walk with 1 man left.
Boomer is the dog. Then he looked good. I just followed his picture all the way. And there he is. Boomer's dad.
That was kind of a change from the everyday thing that we normally do as far as baseball cards are concerned.
Hey, I have a Labrador. Where's my card?
You know, a little bit different, and it turned out to be a fun experience.
It was just when the camera crew tried to leave that there was a problem. You can't leave.
reclamation, and an installer near you. Remember, Piotis Boilers, the world's best built boilers.
Fifth inning, Citi Field, 3-0 Yankees. Brandon Waddell out there for bulk relief, Howie.
All right, thank you, Keith. And he's facing the top of the Yankee batting order here, beginning with Paul Goldschmidt. And the first pitch sweeper is in for a called strike, 0-1. Goldschmidt flied to center, lined out to second. Chris Davinsky gave the Mets 2 scoreless, 1-hit innings. The 0-1 fastball swung on and missed. 0-2 to Goldschmidt. Zach Pop in his Mets debut, not nearly as good. Gave up a homer to the first man he faced, Austin Wells. Went an inning and a third, giving up 5 hits and 3 runs. 0-2 to Goldschmidt, fouled off the end of the bat, off the facing of the sweep level behind first. And it remains 0-2 to Goldschmidt, and now Waddell. And when you talk about bulk, you're hoping 3, maybe even more, if possible. The 0-2 sails high and away, a fastball, 1-2. And again, the Mets bullpen so compromised because of the recent usage owing to many short starts over the last couple of weeks. 1-2 to Goldschmidt, taken outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Meeting 4 relievers yesterday behind Frankie Montas, who gave the Mets 5 2/3 innings, which all of a sudden gets you a party these days. 2-2 taken low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. But I think it's safe to say, and here we are on July the 6th, so there is still more than 3 weeks to go before the deadline. But for whatever other needs the Mets might have or consider themselves as having, payoff pitch to Goldschmidt, hit deep to left field, a laser, and it is one hop off the base of the left field wall, picked up by Marte. Goldschmidt to second, and he slides in ahead of the throw with a lead-off double at 108 miles an hour off the bat. So that's the 7th hit for the Yankees. Line drive double by Paul Goldschmidt, and it'll bring up Trent Grisham. The Mets, even though they're going to get Senga and Minaya back, conceivably before the All-Star break, last game before the break will be a week from today, well, you got to figure they'll be in the market for starting pitching, but then again, there are probably over 20 clubs that are going to be in the market for starting pitching. And you just wonder. Here's Grisham, lefty on left here. The first pitch, way inside with a fastball, backing him off the plate, ball 1. I mean, let's look at a guy whose name has come up in several cities as a pitcher of interest, and that would be Pittsburgh's Mitch Keller, who always pitches well against the Mets, as he did last weekend in Pittsburgh. The 1-0, breaking ball over, a called strike, 1-1. But even though Keller doesn't have great won-loss numbers this year, you know, that's the guy you look at and you say, he would be a solid middle-of-the-rotation pitcher for any contending team in baseball. Any of those teams can use him. The 1-1 tap towards first, fair ball fielded behind the bag and right at the edge of the outfield grass by Alonso, who fires to first in time. Waddell covers, Goldschmidt goes to third. So 1 man away, Aaron Judge will be the batter. And these teams are going to have to consider. You know, you have a guy, and I'll use again Mitch Keller for an example, who was under team control for another couple of years. I mean, how much are you willing to pay for that? And that's what the Pirates are going to be doing, playing teams against and off of each other for the next 3 weeks. Here's Judge, infield up. First pitch drilled deep to left center, back near the wall, and gone into the Fiesta deck to the right of the 370 mark. A line drive, 2-run homer for Aaron Judge, his 33rd of the year, and the Yankees extend their lead to 5-0.
That ball just got out right at the base of the railing above the wall in left field, and it just kind of banged around some railings and then stayed on the party deck to kind of make its presence known that that ball was in fact gone. No in between out there, but just a low liner from Judge off of Waddell.
So this game clearly going according to a lot of forecasts, with Max Fried great for the Yankees and the Mets bullpen game. Giancarlo Stanton takes outside corner, a called strike, 0-1, just highlighting their need for starting pitching. So I think what's going to be interesting, Keith, and here's the 0-1 to Stanton, taken outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Would a team, and I bet you there are literally 20 teams that would be in the market for whether it's specifically Mitch Keller or a similar type pitcher. The 1-1 outside, 2-1. Who blinks first? Would a pitcher just overpay to be the one that gets out in front of everybody else and makes a deal? 2-1 on the way, waved at and missed a changeup, 2-2. Or do the Pirates take it right down to the deadline, if in fact they're even inclined to move him? I mean, we're just speaking hypothetically here. 2-2 to Stanton, taken low and away, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I mean, you have a great point. It's if the Mets came to the table and said, hey, we'll give you Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat for Mitch Keller, and they'll come back and say, well, can you throw in Acuna too? And it's you might see price tags being sky high.
Payoff pitch to Stanton, fouled back this way hard and right off the facing of section 317 just below us.
I mean, if you think about it, talk about, well, the market will dictate. Well, remember what happened for Pete Alonso's market in the offseason? Nobody seemed to be home, and so Pete was looking for a deal. You have the complete opposite going on this year with any of the sellers.
Payoff pitch, reached for, hit high in the air to right field, deep but playable. Soto in front of the track makes the one-hand catch. And that's the second out here in this 5th inning, which is sponsored by Elec 825, building our future. Generally, the market goes right down to the wire. But it will be fascinating to see if any of 20-odd clubs looking for the same thing become overly aggressive and try to slam down a deal early. Here's Bellinger, takes a breaking ball inside, ball 1. Scoreboard update brought to you by the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. 1-0 sweeper in for a called strike, 1-1. Reds and Phillies are tied 1-1 as they play the top of the 6th inning in Philadelphia. The 1-1 line down the right field line, foul and out of play. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bellinger. Austin Hayes homered in the 5th for the Reds, the first Cincinnati hit against the former Med Zach Wheeler, but the Phillies have tied that game now as they're in the 6th inning. 1-2 pitch, foul back by Bellinger. Milwaukee 2, Miami 1. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Brandon Woodruff. Remember they signed him a couple of years ago and he was technically a free agent even though he needed Tommy John. He's finally back and he's been very good. 1-2 to Bellinger. Hit in the air to right center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Soto lets it go. Backed up by Taylor, who throws to second too late to get Bellinger, who's in with a double as the throw skipped under Lindor's glove and went all the way to the mound, where it was backed up by the guy who lives on the mound, Brandon Waddell. It's a double for Bellinger. But Brandon Woodruff in 5 innings has allowed 2 hits and 1 run, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. Good to have him back.
The Mets probably happy that they missed him this week with Milwaukee. Infield's going to come together on the mound to just slow things down a little bit for Waddell. I'll tell you what, Bellinger, sounds redundant, but he's so impressive, left on left. I mean, he's just been hitting the Mets all year in these Subway Series games. Seen it for a long time in the National League with L.A. and the Cubs.
Anthony Volpe will be the batter now for the Yankees. So as the score widens, with the Yankees leading 5-0, I think it becomes more incumbent on whoever is on the mound at the moment to go as far as he possibly can. Here's Volpe, takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the Mets are off tomorrow. Then they begin a series in Baltimore. They'll play 6 straight days before the break. Now the 1-0. Fastball in for a called strike, 1-1. So certainly they'll have a chance to rest several guys in the bullpen who we suspect might not be available today anyway. Diaz, Garrett, Stanek. And if that's the case, consider this. 1-1 to Volpe on the way. Upstairs a fastball, 2-1. If you take those 3 out of the equation, the remaining 5 relievers in the Mets pen, plus the guy who started, Chris Davinsky. Well, here's the 2-1. Little tapper foul up the third baseline. It's 2-2. That means that of those 6 pitchers, including Davinsky, all except for Huascar Brazaban, have been in the minor leagues this year. So that's what the Mets are running out there today to try to get by. And they've been able to win the first 2 games of this series. Trail here 5-0 in the 5th. 2-2 to Volpe is low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. piece of encouraging news about relievers is that Brooks Raley might not be that far off, as he's been pretty effective, as he's working in minor league rehab games. He could be a piece after the All-Star break. Payoff pitch to Volpe. Swung on and popped up foul into the seats downstairs behind first. Raley on his way back from elbow surgery. Injury update brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com.
They'd like to get him going back-to-back, 2 out of 3, get his workload up to what would mimic being here.
Payoff pitch to Volpe. Swung on, hit high in the air to left center. Pretty deep, but playable for Taylor. And he makes the one-hand catch, side retired. But against Waddell in the 5th, Yankees add 2 runs.
To have superstitions.
Zero. I can't do it. Too many collared cleats, too many gloves, too many batting gloves, too many bats.
I do put on my right glove first, then the left, then the thumb guard, then I put on my leg guard, my elbow guard.
Anything you put on first?
Nah, not really.
Nothing?
Nah. I like to say I'm not superstitious, but a little stitious.
Last of the 5th inning, Yankees 5, Mets nothing. It'll be the bottom third of the Mets order against Max Fried, who has basically cruised to this point. First pitch on the way, breaking ball in for a called strike, 0-1. The only thing that mitigates against his going really deep into this game is that his pitch count is high, 72 through 4. Now the 0-1 on the way to Taylor. Swung on, hit high in the air to center field. Grisham drifting back, and he makes the catch, 1 man away, so one center fielder flies out to the other. Centers Healthcare wants to remind you that they're not just care, they're care that moves you. CentersHealthcare.com. 1 out, nobody on. Jeff McNeil will be the batter. There's another pitcher who I'm sure will get some attention, but he has been rather underwhelming in his return from Tommy John surgery. That's the one-time Cy Young Award winner, Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins. They'll move anybody, you would think. First pitch to McNeil. Fastball in for a called strike, 0-1. Go back to Mitch Keller for a moment. He's got 3 more years on his deal. $16.5 million next year, $18 the year after that, $20 million the year after that. McNeil, left-hand batter. The pitch. Swinging a grounder to the right side, past the diving second baseman LeMahieu. Base hit going into right field for McNeil. Just the 3rd hit for the Mets. And the first one for someone other than Starling Marte. And with 1 out, Hayden Singer will be the batter. Alcantara is due $17 million next year in the last year of his contract. Plus there's a $21 million club option the year after that. Can he come reasonably far back from Tommy John? That still remains to be seen. Here's Singer, and he takes a breaking ball for a called strike. And it's 0-1 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Singer flied to center his first time. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a liner to shallow center. That'll fall in front of Grisham for a base hit. Down to second goes McNeil. Hayden Singer 1 for 2. We go back to the top of the order now. As Max Fried begins his 3rd time through the order, he'll face Marte, who's 2 for 2.
And again, this is the part of the game where the Mets' job is to try to raise the pitch count, grab whatever you can as far as runs are against Max Fried, but you really want to get to that Yankee bullpen that has been a mess for the last 6 games. So a little something here brewing that helps the Mets into that, as you said, Howie, 3rd time through.
Marte reached on a bunt single in the bottom of the 1st. And then singled with 2 out in the 3rd. The only other Met hits before McNeil's 1 out single here, and now Singer's hit. First pitch to Marte. Over for a called strike, a cutter, and it's 0-1. Francisco Lindor, the on-deck hitter. This is where Fried has really toughened up. 0-1 the count. Now the pitch. Marte dribbles it foul over by the Mets dugout. It's 0-2. Opposition has hit just 178 with men in scoring position against Max Fried. Then again, overall, the opposition hits just 201 against him, and that's the 6th lowest average of any pitcher in the American League. And by the way, on that foul ball off the bat of Marte, Austin Wells banged up. So he's being given a little extra time by home plate John Bacon. 0-2 to Marte. Wonder if the Braves might be getting ready to unload some people. They lost again today. Orioles swept them. Here's the 0-2. Fastball upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Braves started today, and they are now 11 games under 500. 4th in the National League East. 12.5 behind first place Philadelphia and 12 behind the Mets. That's an awful lot of ground to make up. 1-2. Now the pitch. Marte lines it foul down the right field line, and it remains 1-2. Question is, what have they got to deal now? Spencer Schmellenbach is a big part of their future, but not the immediate future, because he's got that fractured elbow. Well, they've looked to deal some bullpen pieces, I'm sure. Raisel Iglesias, Pierce Johnson. Fried wheels to second without making a throw, but nothing that's not going to knock your socks off. But Mets are going to be one of a lot of teams looking for big league bullpen help. 1-2 to Marte. Swung on and fouled. Just got a piece of it and then rolls back behind home plate. New York baseball fans, step up to the plate with Malloy University, just 35 minutes from Manhattan with 80-plus programs. And D2 Sports, visit MOLLOY.edu.
That's where you trust in David Stern's ability to find Phil Maton to get to the playoffs, Ryan Stanek, Wazkar, Brazaban, trying to find that diamond in the rough for some bullpen.
1-2 pitch. Swing on a fly ball to center, fairly deep, chasing Grisham way back. It's over his head. Bounces up off the wall. The runners had to hold, so McNeil will just go to third, stop there. Senger to second and stop there. And Marte is held to a long single. But with the Mets down 5, no sense taking any chances with Lindor and Soto, the next 2 scheduled hitters.
Yeah, you can see Marte's a little bit frustrated. I think he kind of knew he hit it well. He was probably the only one of the 3 that knew he hit it that well, and we were following Grisham back. It looked like he was just kind of raise that glove and make the catch, but all of a sudden it goes over his head. And Marte, as he took his turn, he was pretty close to catching Hayden Senger between first and second base. Marte thought this was a for sure double, but remember, he hit it. They didn't. So McNeil a little bit slow to read it. Senger a little bit slow to read it, but more cautious than being aggressive, which you wouldn't mind in a spot like this anyway, where you have to build something big anyway.
Yeah, especially with the guys coming up. Maybe they would have been able to score McNeil, maybe not. But again, down 5-0 with some big boys coming up, there's just no reason to take a chance. And the other thing is, we're talking about Fried having a high pitch count, now working on his 3rd time through the order. Well, this may be the Mets' opportunity to close the gap here. Yankees don't have anybody throwing in their bullpen yet. The way they've struggled, Aaron Boone's in no hurry to get out there either. So here's Lindor, 0 for 2 and 3 for 33 against Fried. Batting right-handed. First pitch, upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Soto on deck and then Alonso. So can the Mets make a move here? They've been waiting for an opportunity like this. They haven't had one other than Marte at 3rd in the 1st inning. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch. Lindor hits it on the ground up the middle. Base hit center field. McNeil is in. Senger around 3rd. He'll score standing as Grisham just flips into 2nd. 2-run single for Francisco Lindor. The Yankee lead is cut to 5-2. And Juan Soto will be coming to the plate representing the potential tying run.
Now, we've told you how much Lindor has struggled today for his career against Max Fried, but that dreaded 3rd time through, you just get it. a better look. You start to read it more, and all you needed was a base hit, and that's exactly what Lindor tried to do. You'd love to hit it out, but all you need to do is sneak it by the infield and keep chipping away.
Now the Yankees are going to get somebody up in their bullpen, it would appear. Soto is 0 for 2 today. Alonso behind him. Tying man at the plate. 5-2 Yankees. First pitch. Soto tries to lay off a pitch down and away, and he does hold back on the sweeper. They appeal to third. Laz Diaz says no swing. It's 1-0. Soto was flied to center and struck out. Grisham, the center fielder, remember he's two-time Gold Glover. Couple of steps the other way against the left-hand hitting Soto. 1-0 the count. Now the pitch. That's a called strike, a sweeper. And it's 1-1 to Soto.
Righty Jonathan Loaizaga getting up in the Yankees bullpen.
Marte is at second, Lindor at first. Now Fried comes set. 1-1 to Soto. Swing and a miss out in front of a good curveball. Well, that is a bread and butter pitch for Max Fried. And Soto now behind in the count 1-2. Goldschmidt is deep at first. Got 2 strides off the line. 1-2 the count to Soto. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. The curve again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mets. And again, Soto has hit just 178 this year with men in scoring position. Had a chance in the first inning and flied out to center. 2-2 the count. Fried ready. Here's the pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball foul up the first base line, and with every pitch, that count gets uncomfortably high for Fried. He is now at 91 pitches with 1 out in the 5th inning. The Yankee bullpen battered over its last 8 games to a 10.33 ERA. So the Mets want to dip in there as soon as possible. Fried giving the Yankees all he's got right now to try and delay that. But it appears, if not imminent, certainly inevitable in the short term. As again, he's at an inflated pitch count in the 5th inning. 2-2 the count to Soto. Fried ready. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a sweeper. So for Fried, that is his 5th strikeout. 2 men away, and here comes Alonso.
A lot of soft stuff there against Soto. It's just, again, another uncomfortable at bat against Fried by one of these big hitters. And mentioned Lindor struggling, but found a base hit left on left there for Soto. Just couldn't find the release point to pick up the right pitch against Max Fried.
Alonso, including 0 for 2 today, is 10 for 41 with 2 home runs against Max Fried. Marte at second, Lindor at first. 2 out, last of the 5th. Yankees leading 5-2. First pitch. Fastball in for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Right at the top of the zone there to Alonso. Pete can keep it going. Brandon Nimmo would be next. Grisham several steps the other way in center. 0-1 the count. Now the pitch. Upstairs with a fastball. And it's 1-1. Fastball at 98. Velocity is there. 94 pitches in.
Trying to bust him up and in with some cutters and heaters and maybe slow him down and away. Pete's got to stay balanced during this at bat.
Fried staring down. Now brings the hands together. Runners lead second and first. The pitch. Breaking ball over a curve for a called strike 2 right at the bottom of the zone near the outer part of the plate.
He's made 2 almost perfect pitches. That first pitch cutter up and in. That curveball at the knees, down and away. Man.
That's first runs of the game, sponsored by Sloman's. Call or visit Slomans.com. Schedule a free estimate on a new central AC system. Sloman's, the difference is human. 1-2 to Alonso. Fried ready. Now the pitch. in the dirt with a slider, 2-2. So Fried isn't perhaps going on fumes. Gas tank is certainly pointing towards empty. Again, Nimmo on deck, a left-hand batter. Even if Alonso gets on, it's conceivable that Fried would face Nimmo, but that depends on what Pete does. 2-2 the count. Now the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to right. Fairly deep, but playable for Judd. Bat and makes the catch right in front of the warning track, and that retires the side. And let's get two runs on 4 what were consecutive hits.
Talk to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha.
Amazing.
And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bach beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town. Dude. Oh, best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
I think style, it's a very complicated thing.
Custom cleats came when I earned the rights to wear custom cleats.
So I think without going out and being loud and saying this is who I am or whatever, you can just kind of wear a certain shoe or a glove or a batting glove or whatever, and it kind of shows who you are.
Five to 2 Yankees. Bottom third of the Yankee order against Brandon Waddell, beginning with DJ LeMahieu, who takes outside for ball 1. LeMahieu 1 for 2. Austin Wells and Oswald Peraza to follow. Well, Wells been a hot hitter lately. The 1-0 on the way. Taken down and in. 2-0. I should say LeMahieu's been the hot hitter lately, although Wells has homered in each of the last 2 games. But the Mets are going to continue to make a move in this game. Now, Waddell really needs to take care of the bottom of the order here. And the 2-0 to LeMahieu is in for a called strike. It's 2-1, borderline at the top of the zone. Waddell has pitched an inning and 2/3 to this point. He's the third pitcher the Mets have used in, I guess, what for fans is kind of a dreaded bullpen game. Most teams will do it, sometimes often, over the course of a year. They don't have pizzazz, that's for sure. 2-1 on the way, lifted in the air, foul. First base side out of play, and it's 2-2.
On a day like today, if you win that game, Fried against the bullpen game, it's a great feeling. But
I feel like you stole one, right?
In the middle of it, you're going, how are we going to do this?
2-2 coming. Swinging a foul, first base side again, onto the second deck. I mean, consider that the Dodgers won the World Series last year, and they were using bullpen games in the postseason. They have had all manner of pitching injuries over the last couple of years. Mets dealing with it this year. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a fastball. And Waddell has his first strikeout. 1 man away, and Austin Wells will be the batter. You know, there was a time when the starting pitchers drove the gate, meaning they sold tickets. Get up and see. Let's see. Seaver's pitching against Carlton. We got to go. For example, many examples. Here's Austin Wells, left-hand batter. Takes a sweeper for a called strike. 0-1. But the way the game has evolved, even if you've got really, really good pitchers going, I mean, look at the Yankees with Fried today. Guy might win the Cy Young Award. Is he going to pitch the 6th? The 0-1 to Wells, in for a called strike. It's 0-2. I mean, he's right around 100 pitches now through 5 innings. Nobody's throwing at the moment in the Yankee bullpen. Loizaga was up earlier. So maybe they do run Fried out to begin the 6th inning, particularly with Nimmo, a left-hand batter, due to lead off. But again, you're talking about one of the marquee pitchers in the game now, right? Max Fried. If he gets through 6 innings today, that's an achievement. The 0-2 rolled foul up the third base line past third base coach and former Mets manager Luis Rojas.
Yeah, I saw Blake Snell win it the other 2 years ago with San Diego, the old 5 and dive from Snell. But I think baseball recognizes that it's a problem. I think that's a good start.
The 0-2 to Wells, a breaking ball low, 1-2.
It's been a conversation that we've had Max Scherzer here talk about. Maybe there's different strategies to keep starters in the game, lose your DH, things like that.
1-2 on the way, bounced up the first base line. Fair ball. Alonso's got it. Steps on the bag, 2 men away. In what's been a relatively slow-paced game, brought to you by Optimum Fiber. Don't take slow for an answer. But, you know, from talking to some people who have been here the last couple of weeks who cover the game nationally, because we've had a lot of national TV crews in here, there seems to be momentum building towards, I forget what the double, whatever they call it, the proposal, the rule that you would lose your DH when your starting pitcher goes out. Here's Peraza, takes outside and high, ball 1. What do they call that? The double something.
Yeah, if your pitch doesn't go through 6 innings, you lose your DH. And so that's the kind of the give and take there.
1-0 pitch, taken for a called strike, 1-1.
So that would certainly change a lot of managerial strategy. That would force teams to now stretch their starters even more. They learn how to pitch differently.
1-1 to Peraza, foul straight down at home plate, 1-2.
But it's tough because the genie's out of the bottle in a way where hitters are so good now. And we talk about the dreaded third time through. It's because the more they see Max Fried or whomever comes out, the more that they'll hit him. So hitters are more advanced too.
1-2 to Peraza, taken low, 2-2. Of course, there are a lot of Hall of Fame pitchers who had no problem getting through a lineup for a third or fourth time. In fact, there are much less than Hall of Fame pitchers who routinely would get outs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. But here's 2-2 to Peraza. Swung on and missed strike 3, side retired. Unless something changes drastically in this game, they're not putting that toothpaste back in the tube. Well, Wendell gets the Yankees in order to...
Yeah, mine was a tops now as well. I hit my first walk-off last year against the Mets.
Jacob Young, Nationals win! Now he's got his first walk-off big league hit.
Dad had bought a stack of them, and I was like, I think we can get these ourselves, but he went ahead and bought a stack for himself.
Like business cards. There you go.
But it was awesome just to have that moment and have everyone so excited to have a picture of you is a fun moment.
Jersey, or if you swap a jersey, one of the players on the National League, who would it be? Who would you pick?
Okay, so I got an Ohtani jersey last year, so
nice.
I'm gonna probably say Harper.
Maybe Judge. He's one of the greatest to play the game in the last 5, 6, 7 years, so it'd be cool to have his jersey. Ellie's been fun to watch. Yeah, Ellie'd be a cool one. I mean, his jersey would probably be too big for me. It'd probably go down to my knees.
Last of the 6th inning, Yankees 5, Mets 2. Max Fried stays on for now to face the lefty Brandon Nimmo. And the first pitch, inside he hit him with his 98th pitch of the game, a sweeper. Nimmo has been hit. I think Jonathan Loizaga has gotten back up in the Yankee bullpen, but I was watching between innings. He was throwing in the 5th. He just got up as Fried got to the mound to take his warm-up pitches, so clearly Loizaga is ready if they want him.
I think they want him. Here comes Aaron Boone.
Be nice if he would wear his number on his windbreaker there so we can tell Boone from Matt Blake from this vantage point. But he takes the ball from Fried, so that's it. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
Stottlemyre still wants somebody. There's Randy Johnson, the big unit. He towers over everybody. Randy's got to change his cap.
Oh, jeez. There you go. That looks better. Get that D-backs hat on, Randy.
play in Toronto, Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys. So when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
The train, Roto-Rooter.
Well, the Yankees turn the pitching over to specifically Jonathan Loaizaga, but generally a bullpen that has struggled terribly. Remember, the Yankees have struggled over the last few weeks. Never mind that they've lost their last 6 games. It's the second losing streak of that length they've had lately. They've lost 16 of their last 22, and just in the last 8 of those games, the bullpen has gone 0-5 with a 10.33 earned run average. And so Jonathan Loaizaga is first up. He's had to take some time off early this year, recovering from elbow surgery last year. And so Loaizaga has only pitched 20 1/3 innings so far, is going to face Ronnie Mauricio, pinch hitting for Mark Vientos. Mauricio, a switch hitter, batting left. And Loaizaga ready. His first pitch is taken low, 1-0. The Nicaraguan-born right-hander, generally pretty reliable when he's healthy. Mauricio batting .227 with 3 homers and 5 runs batted in. Had a hustle double yesterday batting for Marte. The 1-0. Fastball down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Taylor is on deck. And that's brought to you by TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. But looks like Brett Beatty has come out on deck now to hit for Taylor. 2-0 the count. Loaizaga deals. Swinging a ground ball right side. That's going to get on through. Base hit right field. Nimmo will pull up at second. Judge throws in behind him. But Nimmo standing on the bag as Volpe takes the throw. And so Mauricio with a pinch hit single, and now the Mets will bring the tying man to the plate, and it's Brett Beatty.
Again, it's just about getting into that bullpen, and I mean, Fried went through 5. It took a lot, came out, hit the first batter, and I mean, think of the runway for the Mets, 6, 7, 8, 9. They got a lot of time to try to score against this struggling Yankee pen.
So it will be Beatty now, batting .224 with 9 home runs. And 29 RBIs, batting for Taylor, who went 0 for 2, as did Vientos, before the base hit by Mauricio, the pinch hitter. So here is Beatty, tying man at the plate, no out, bottom of the 6th, 5-2 Yankees. And the first pitch. Swinging a liner to left, sinking, it's going to fall in, base hit. Nimmo will go to third and stop there. Mauricio and now Beatty with back-to-back pinch hit singles. The Mets have the bases loaded, nobody out. Jeff McNeil coming up.
I'll tell you, these young hitters, the at-bats, Mauricio's been great, back-to-back days off the bench. Beatty keeping it simple, and then the bottom of the lineup when the Mets were struggling, when they lost 14-17, was doing absolutely nothing. But today, some good things here. And here comes Matt Blake and the translator to talk to Jonathan Loaizaga.
Well, some scores from out of town brought to you by Food Bazaar Supermarket. Shop local, eat global. Another gem being pitched by Detroit's Tarek Skubal. As they're in the top of the 8th inning in Cleveland, the Tigers and Guardians are scoreless. Skubal in 7 innings has allowed 3 hits, struck out 10. Gavin Williams has basically matched him with 6 one-hit shutout innings, walking 3 and striking out 8. Angels in Toronto tied 2-2, bottom 6 in Toronto. Blue Jays have won 7 in a row. They lead the American League East by 3 games. Bo Bichette a home run. And the Reds and Phillies 1-1, bottom of the 7th in Philadelphia. So here is McNeil, the go-ahead run at the plate now. The Mets have the bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-2 Yankees. McNeil has had one dramatic home run in this series. What's he got up his sleeve here? Loaizaga ready. Infield back at double play depth. First pitch, high and away, ball 1. Now Mark Leiter Jr., a right-hander, is up in the Yankees bullpen. Hayden Singer is on deck. All the Mets have left on the bench are Jankowski and Terrens. 1-0 the count to McNeil. Loaizaga deals. Swing and a little roller up the first base line. Loaizaga misses it. Backed up by Goldschmidt. Flips to first, but it goes beyond the reach of Loaizaga. Nimmo has scored, and everybody else moves up a base. A throw down to second is not able to get Beatty, and so the Mets now have cut the Yankee lead to 5-3 as Nimmo scores. Mauricio goes to third, and Beatty goes to second, and the Mets have them loaded, still with nobody out, and a base hit can tie this game.
Well, McNeil, after he got to first base, turned, looked into the dugout, did the wrist-rolling celebration with the fist pump into the air, and it wasn't a ball into the seats, but probably an 87-foot base hit to get himself on and get the run in.
Well, here's Singer. The one thing the Mets don't want here is the double play. The Yankees are back up the middle. The outfield around towards right. The whole infield is back. First pitch. Swing, and there's the ground ball to short. Volpe up with it. Throws to second one. LeMahieu will low throw to first. It's picked by Goldschmidt. And there's the double play. It does add a run as Mauricio scores from third. So now the Yankee lead is 5-4. But that's 2 big outs the Yankees get. Although the Mets do bring the tying run to third now as Beatty got there. McNeil thrown out at second, 6-4 on the front end of that double play. And now Marte, who's 3 for 3, will try to get that tying run home. But that one hurts. So here is Marte. First pitch, breaking ball over, a called strike, 0-1. I mean, Singer had a hit his time up before that. But that was the one thing you feared, way more than the strikeout for obvious reasons. 0-1. Here's the pitch to Marte. Fastball outside, 1-1.
Well, you have a chance to tie the game here with Beatty at third base. Marte's been hot, and then you've got the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, and the way the Yankees have pitched out of the bullpen. I think the Mets are feeling really, really good right now.
1-1 the count. Beatty leads from third. Here's the pitch. Swing on a foul, going to the backstop, and it's 1-2. So 2 runs have come home here. A hit batsman, single, infield single, ground ball double play. Now 1-2 to Marte. Beatty a short lead at third. Here's the pitch. Foul straight back. What remains? 1-2 to Marte. He's had 3 singles in this game, including a bunt single in the bottom of the first inning.
Mets are getting Huáscar Brazoban up in their bullpen. Top of the Yankee lineup is coming up soon.
1-2 to Marte. Loaizaga deals. Swing and a liner to shallow right. On comes Judge, reaches down, makes a tumbling catch, and holds on as that glove hits the turf hard. The ball stays in the glove, and the Yankees stay in front. Barely. The Mets score 2 runs on 3 hits. No.
I'm Jonathan Mayo, and for more than 20 years, I've traced the path of baseball's rising stars, navigating the back roads of the national pastime and basking in the glow of small-town America's spirit, where the team is woven into the fabric of everyday life, where it's more than just a game. It's a celebration of the people, the traditions, and the culture that give these places their soul. This is Grassroots.
Oppo Taco.
I'm gonna guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a
home run to the opposite field.
Yeah.
You got it.
This is a good one. A hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack. You know, someone that's just mailing it in.
Yeah.
They're not putting their heart into it.
Go to the 7th inning. The Mets have cut the 5-0 Yankee lead down to 5-4. Now the question is, will Huáscar Brazoban be able to hold the Yankees off as he'll face the top of the order here in the 7th, taking over on the mound for Brandon Waddell.
And the Mets have made some changes. All those pinch hitters. They have Brett Beatty now at third base, Ronnie Mauricio at second. Jeff McNeil gets moved to center. And so now you've got 3 innings to go. Down by a run. Brazoban's pitch to Goldschmidt. Strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Goldschmidt, Grisham, and then Judge. Remember, Judge hitting third today, not second. This is the top of the order for the Yankees. Brazoban's 0-1. Missed outside a cutter, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Brazoban, who had struggled so mightily in the month of June, where he gave up 14 runs in 8 2/3 for an ERA of 13.5, has come out in July and thrown 2 scoreless innings in 2 separate appearances. 1-1. Grounded foul down the third base line, and it's a ball and 2 strikes on Goldschmidt. Now, Brazoban is a big reason why the Mets were 21 games over 500, had been in first place, sizable lead, and the reason that they have fallen down was because of the struggles of some of the guys that they relied on. 1-2. Ground ball toward the middle of the infield, and that sneaks by into center, a base hit for Goldschmidt. Right past Lindor and Mauricio, who are converging up the middle. So second hit for Goldschmidt. And here is Trent Grisham. Now, the Mets are going to see Judge at some point in the inning. They chose not to walk him previously, and he ended up hitting a 2-run home run. That was when the game was a much different score. But we'll see how they handle it as this inning unfolds. First, though, with Judge on deck, you got Grisham here, left-hand hitter. 2 hits today. First pitch. Grounded toward first, and off the glove of Alonso, going into foul ground down the right field line. Goldschmidt goes first to third. Mauricio picks the ball up in foul territory and runs it in. Grisham stays at first base. The ball was along the line, and I think it either hit off the bag, off of Alonso, could have been both, but that looked like a makeable grab by Pete. Just getting a look at it now, and yeah, it hit off of the heel of his glove by his wrist, never hit the bag. They have called it a hit and not an error, but that is a play Pete knows he should make. So first and third, and now really no choice but to face Judge with nobody out. 5-4 Yankees. And Brazoban steps off. So you had the Goldschmidt seeing eye single up the middle, and then Grisham with a ground ball, infield hit, if you will, hitting off of Alonso. Judge homered his last time. First pitch, right down the middle with a sinker, strike 1. Judge last time, low line drive home run that rattled off the railing above the wall in left center field at the feet of some of the people on that Fiesta deck for his 33rd of the year. 0-1. Fouled back, got a fastball in on his hands, and it's 0-2. Now, as this season series has gone on, Judge, all told against the Mets, 6 hits in 23 at-bats, a double, 2 home runs. Both of them have come in the series. So he hasn't gone bananas, but he's hit. He's still hit. Brazoban, though, has him 0-2. Pitch. Missed outside. Try the cutter. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Behind Judge, you've got Stanton. Brazoban trying to make some pitches here. When he was running into trouble in June, there were a seismic number of walks. The 1-2 missed away, change up, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So got ahead of him. and now trying to make him chase. It has run the count to 2-2 on a guy hitting .361, highest batting average in baseball, and the highest OPS at 1206. 2-2. Missed low, cutter, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now again, if Brazaban walks Judge, it's better than the 3-run home run, which has sometimes been following Aaron Judge around this year. He has hit 33 of them. The payoff. Hit hard, foul down third under a ducking Paul Goldschmidt, who was taking his lead in foul territory down third. The Judge a tad out in front of what was the changeup from Brazaban. Mets playing the infield back against Judge, who hits the ball awfully hard. Goldschmidt, not a fast man, leads at third. Grisham on at first. Outfield is deep and straight away. Payoff. Hit high in the air to left field, sending Marte back toward the middle of the track, backpedaling, makes the catch in front of the wall, fires in towards second base. Goldschmidt scores from third base. Grisham stays at first. Judge with a sac fly makes it 6-4 Yankees. 1 out in the 7th inning. Marte made the catch with maybe 4 feet to go before that wall in left field. So Grisham, the only remaining base runner on. He's at first with 1 out, and here's Giancarlo Stanton. And again, there's so many things you think, okay, Judge, well, he didn't hit it out for a 3-run homer. It's really hard to ask anybody to get out of first and third, nobody out, without giving up anything. Pitch to Stanton. Missed inside. 1 ball and no strikes. But at least for Brazaban, despite the fact that there have been the 2 infield hits in the inning, he's throwing strikes, which again in June he really was not doing in these spots. And now Brazaban steps off ahead of the 1-0 to Stanton. Well, join us on Saturday, July 19th. David Wrights, number 5, is retired. He'll be inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame. 1-0 pitch in for a strike, 1-1. All of that happening at pregame ceremony presented by New York Presbyterian. Don't miss the special day at Citi Field. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets. The 1-1. Up and in. Stanton leans back out of the way, and it's 2 balls and a strike. So the Mets offense, who has shown up in the 5th and the 6th, 2 runs in that inning, 2 runs in the 6th inning, will have some work to do. Brazaban trying to get through this. 2-1. Pumped in for a strike, a cutter. 2-2 on Stanton. Mets will have Lindor, Soto, and Alonso up in the 7th. Maybe against Mark Leiter Jr., who continues to throw. Yankees just used Jonathan Loaizaga. Grisham a small lead at first, 1 out. And Brazaban for the 2nd time steps off, so that's 2 disengagements. Cody Bellinger is on deck. Stanton has doubled today in 3 trips. Pitch. Just missed low with a changeup. It was a bit down. It kind of sunk at home plate. Then they asked on appeal for a check swing, but Brian Onora shook his head and then extended the arms to signal no swing. So 3-2. Grisham not running. The payoff, caught on and missed. Got him swinging with a changeup. Always good to get Stanton, who has hit a ton of home runs in this building. 2 outs, runner at first. Bellinger coming up. Jeremy Hefner running out to talk to Brazaban. And as Hefner's out there, the slowdown in action is brought to you by Iservay. Think about the Hayden Sanger ground ball double play, which certainly erased more opportunities for the Mets in the bottom of the 6th inning, was, according to Kay, the Mets made it 5-4, but you just know that the way this series has gone, there have been more runs for the Yankees on their offensive side as we've played on. The Yankees have out-homered the Mets in this series. Have hit 2 more today. Wells has hit 1. Judge has hit 1. The Wells one was a solo shot. The Judge run was a 2-run shot. The Mets have hit their share of home runs as well. They've hit some grand slams. They've hit some 3-run homers, some 2-run homers. Yeah, yesterday, Mets won 12-6, but it never felt like they were comfortable with the way the Yankees have hit. So here's Bellinger, also has a homer in the series. First pitch. Missed away with a sinker. Ball 1. So 6-4 Yankees. 6 runs on 11 hits. Bellinger's at the plate now, has 2 of the 11 hits. A single and a double. 1-0. Reached for, fouled back behind home plate. Change-up fading away. That's 1-1 on Bellinger. And as the Mets continue on toward the trade deadline into August, And then in the home stretch, think about all the games in August, all the games in September that they'll have to win to get to the playoffs. Brazoban is going to have to be a big part of that. Trying to come out of the slump that was June. Comes set first base side of the rubber. The 1-1. Missed inside. It pops out of the glove of Sanger. Looked like a pretty good pitch. But maybe because Sanger didn't squeeze it, John Bacon didn't give him the call. So it's 2-1 on Cody Bellinger. Grisham still over at first base. Hasn't moved since he reached on the infield hit off of Alonso's glove. 2-1, sails away. 3 balls and a strike. Volpe, the righty, is on deck. And that Met bullpen is empty. Brazoban nods yes, comes set. Infield back around to the right. The 3-1. Way up high. Ball 4. First walk issued by Brazoban. And now the 6th batter of the inning, Anthony Volpe, is coming up.
I don't know that you could call that an intentional walk. But even with a runner on first, I think there was a reluctance to have Brazoban do anything that would result in Bellinger doing what he does best, which is taking one down and in and launching at 400 feet. And so they'll take their chances with the right-on-right matchup against Volpe.
Well, Brazoban versus Volpe. We've seen this before. 6-4 Yankee lead. Pitch fouled back this way right under our booth. And down the steps. Picked up by a Met fan, thankfully, in this building this week. You never know this weekend. They're everywhere. Those pinstripe people. 0-1 on Volpe. 2 on, 2 out. 6-4 Yankees in the 7th. Brazoban's pitch. Reached for, pop foul to the right and out of play. And it's 0-2. Might remember that Sunday night game the Yankees and Mets played at Yankee Stadium, the one that eventually the Yankees scored 6 in the 8th. But remember the 7th inning, Brazoban, bases loaded, walk 2, infield hit, struck out Volpe to end that inning, end the threat. 0-2 here to Volpe. Got him swinging, shoot him up inside with a fastball. So he might have pitched around Bellinger knowing that he's had success against Volpe. But some success for the Yankees. Sac fly for Judge makes it 6-4.
A sartorial issue here. There's the team name, Chicago Cubs, so it does work.
It's got the right color.
Yeah, it's gray.
Maybe there was something went wrong with his other one.
1-1 to Marte. In the air, right to the guy we just showed you.
I'm gonna go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Philly
cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some
crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning at Citi Field on this 4th of July weekend. 6-4 Yankee lead in the finale of this series, where the Mets have already won the series. Looking for the cherry on top of that ice cream sundae with a sweep. They'll have to come back. They're down 2, so we go to the bottom of the 7th. And this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Mets. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. So Mets have their big hitters up with Lindor, Soto, and Alonso as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Mark Leiter Jr., Al's nephew, is on the mound for the Yankees. Traded over from the Cubs to the Yankees mid-season last year. He's got into 61 games with the Yankees over the last year and a half. So this will be appearance number 41 this year. Been used a lot. Has that big splitter, big curve. 34-year-old out of Fort Lauderdale. Lindor is strolling in. I'm sure Francisco just happy to not see Max Fried, who had had his number up until that 2-run single in the 5th. It's gone Fried to Loaizaga, now to Leiter Jr. So 9 offensive outs to work with for the Mets, who on the other side have had a bullpen game. Bullpen used a lot of different pieces today, just kind of keeping it close, keeping it as close as possible, giving the offense a shot. Offense has carried the Mets all weekend. Lindor batting left here. First pitch from the righty. Slow curve, misses high with ball 1. Leiter again throws that split, but that curve just 74 miles an hour. Pitch to a 4.5 ERA this year with the Yankees. Infield around to the right. There's the 1-0 Lindor. Missed low, sinker. That's 2 balls and no strikes. And as we've told you, and how we mentioned it just an inning ago, that Yankee bullpen, that ERA over the 6-game losing streak has been close to 11. Loaizaga gave up a run in that 6th. 2-0. Missed away. 3 balls and no strikes. And the Mets, who have given up a lot of dreaded leadoff walks, may get one right here. It's 3-0 on Lindor. First base, side of the rubber. Leiter's set. Big righty, ready to go. 3-0. Strike at the top of the zone. A sinker. And it's 3-1. Mets coming into play today. Again, love a sweep, but also would love maybe a chance at first place behind Philly by a half game. Philly's up on the Reds. 3-1, bottom of the 8th. 3-1 here. Strike on the outside corner. So Leiter has come back with 2 fastballs to make it full. Rice and Stott hit that 2-run home run in the 8th, put the Phillies up on Cincinnati. 6-4 Yankees. Lindor leading off the inning. Time called as Leiter was about to deal the pitch. Lindor somehow snuck it in there, and Leiter took exception. Turns and says something to John Bacon after he slowed his windup down. He had started it, was ready to throw, and Lindor just got it in there. So Lindor wheels the bat around a few times. Leiter ready. And the payoff. Down and in, almost hit him. And I think it did hit him. Got him on the leg, so he's on anyway. It would have been ball 4, but he gets hit by that pitch. And maybe you'd say, okay, Leiter not happy that time was called, and well, you're not going to hit a guy in a 2-run game like this. But that one was nowhere close. And so here's Soto. All of a sudden, the tying man to the plate. And the Yankees are getting their lefty Tim Hill up, but Leiter's just into the game, so he needs to see at least 3 hitters. Soto would be number 2. They've got Alonso on deck, and then Nimmo, a lefty, would be the first one available for Tim Hill. And Soto is having an extended conversation with John Bacon, maybe about the Max Fried strike call, one of the few that he got in the last at-bat. Soto maybe trying to buy a little equity for this at-bat here, which is a big one. Mets chasing 2, bottom of the 7th, nobody out, runner at first, tying man to the plate, and Soto. First pitch, up and away. Leiter missed again, ball 1. He's thrown 7 pitches, 5 of them have been out of the zone. Soto today 0 for 3. Yesterday, a late RBI single, and of course, a huge 2-run home run on Friday to tie the game early. Infield back, throw over to first. Lindor dives in safely. The first disengagement in this plate appearance. And Lindor, despite that broken toe, has still been running. He is 14 out of 16. Not really a spot here. You don't want to potentially get thrown out, especially with these hitters up. So he takes a small lead at first. The 1-0 to Soto. Breaking ball, missed inside, 2-0. There's that slow curve. And Leiter is not helping himself at all. Falling behind. He fell behind Lindor. He's fallen behind Soto. And the Yankee bullpen has shown some leaks. 2-0. Pitch. Flying foul to the left and out of play. He got a sinker there. Right down the middle, and Soto fouled it off. So 2-1 with Pete on deck. Mets 4 runs on 9 hits. Didn't do anything over the first 4 innings against Fried. However, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. And they're batting here in the bottom of the 7th. Lindor off first. 2-1. Line the other way toward left. Bellinger in. Reaches down, makes a shoestring catch. Fires to first and doubles up Lindor. Oh, goodness. Cody Bellinger with the play of the game so far for the Yankees. A sinking liner. He made the catch, came up firing, and Lindor, who thought it was going to drop, got thrown out at first base. The Mets are going to challenge this, but for the moment, 2 outs, bases clear, and a potentially game-changing play by Bellinger.
I don't know if the Mets are challenging the play at first or trap as opposed to catch. It appeared that he caught the ball looking at a replay. I don't think it was a trap. Then the question becomes, was the throw there ahead of the runner at first, Lindor? And it certainly appeared to have been. But I'll tell you what, however this adjudication goes, the catch was a terrific play by Bellinger, but what a throw.
Crowd is reacting to the slow-mo view of the ball entering Bellinger's glove. Now it's low. You can see the glove and the ball.
I think he caught it, don't
you? You see the ball go into the glove and then the glove drop into the grass. The black leather hit the grass. I think he catches this ball. I think it seems pretty clear, and it looks like you said Lindor is out at first base.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a double play, and that's all Cody Bellinger. Terrific catch, and I think a remarkably strong throw.
Yeah, I mean, Lindor is fast, and to throw him out like that, it's stunning. So here comes the verdict from crew chief Las Diaz. I think now they're going to call out Carlos Mendoza. I haven't seen this. Brian Onora is whispering something to Mendoza's ear. I don't know what that means, but maybe Brian Onora will let us know, or not yet.
Is there a definition about what specifically they're challenging? I think they're going to lose the challenge whichever way it goes.
Now, again, if you go to the replay,
the enhanced replay on the catch makes you think a little bit. But again, the call on the field being out.
And Bellinger's glove goes down toward the grass. The ball enters the very top of the webbing. And it feels like in one fell swoop, the glove, the ball, the grass all meet. But it looked like he caught it. And again, the call on the field is huge here because there has to be enough evidence to say it definitively hit the grass. And here we go.
After review, the catch in left field is an out. The play at first base stands, also an out.
So a little drama from Las Diaz with the reporting of what we told you, that the play does stand. The double play is huge from Cody Bellinger. I mean, single-handedly changes the complexion of this inning, because now Pete Alonso will bat with nobody on base and 2 outs. 6-4 game. I mean, that was just an unbelievable play by Bellinger. So here's Alonso. First pitch. Curveball high and in. Ball 1. That's the textbook play of the game, brought to you by Malloy University. Your future starts today. So a chance to restart a rally here. The 1-0. Alonso shoots it foul inside. Outswing to the right side, and it's 1-1. The cheers, of course, that you heard, it's kind of hard to tell what might be coming. You've got Mets fans here, Yankees fans here, both looking at the video board, both reacting. The 1-1. Leiter misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's a defensive play of the weekend, though, that's for sure.
Oh, man. And he's been in center. He's been at first base. Today he's in left field. Terrific talent. Now 2-1 on Pete. Mets chasing 2. The pitch from Leiter. His fought off foul back and out of play a sinker, and it's 2-2. And again, Tim Hill continues to throw. He wasn't up when the inning began, but as Leiter hit Lindor, and the the count grew into Soto's favor. That's when Hill started to throw. But now Leiter deals the 2-2. Just missed inside with a split. 3 balls and 2 strikes. If Alonso gets on, you have the lefty Nimmo up, and that's where you'd see, I would imagine, Boone go to Hill, left on left. The infield is back, a touch to the left, playing Alonso to pull. Payoff. Inside, he walked him. Well, again, Leiter is just not helping himself at all, and so the Mets are invited here to at least add some more stressful pitches, and it won't be against Leiter Jr. in the inning. Aaron Boone coming out to take the stroll. It'll be the lefty Tim Hill facing Brandon Nimmo. Bottom of the 7th, runner on, 2 outs, 6-4 Yankees. Pitching change and slow down in action, brought to you by Iservay.
Batter up, spring is here. And Westbury Toyota is swinging for the fences with incredible...
Talk to me. Talk
this
to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha.
Amazing.
And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bach beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town. Dude. Oh, best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
Yankees go to their left-hander Tim Hill to play the matchup against Brandon Nimmo. Lefty versus lefty. It's 6-4 Yankees. The Mets will have the tying man at home plate yet again, as they seem to have had a few times in this inning. Of course, that huge double play by Cody Bellinger erased the first chance at it. And here's another chance. So you have Alonso on first base. He was walked by Leiter, and now Nimmo stepping in. Lefty to lefty. Hill comes from that sidearm angle, deals, and Nimmo hits one hard to second base, grabbed on the backhand by LeMahieu, flipped to second in time, inning over. Tim Hill, 1 pitch, gets Nimmo to end the frame. Cody Bellinger changed this game with that double play. We go to the 8th, 6-4 Yankees on Odyssey Mets Radio. Stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets post-game show. For the latest deals, drop into your local Verizon store. It is 6-4 Yankees as we go to the top of the 8th. And for the first time in a Major League game since 2023, Rico Garcia makes his Mets debut, Howie.
Okay, thank you very much, Keith. He is an Hawaiian-born player. Mets have had several of those before. He faces DJ LeMahieu to lead off. And the first pitch fastball fouled off to the right into the upper deck behind first. And the count 0-1 to LeMahieu, who's 1 for 3. He's the 6th pitcher and the 7th player, including Benny Agbayani, to be born in Hawaii and get into a game with the Mets. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss at a cutter. The count 0-2. Let's see, if I'm not mistaken, One was traded for another, meaning a Hawaiian for a Hawaiian. 0-2 to LeMahieu. Now the pitch. Breaking ball down and away, 1-2. Carlos Diaz was a left-handed pitcher, as I recall. The first native Hawaiian to appear for the Mets. And I believe he was in the Sid Fernandez trade when the Mets got Sid from the LA Dodgers. So here's the 1-2 on the way to LeMahieu. Breaking ball on the outside corner. A curveball, strike 3 called. LeMahieu doesn't like the call, but he's on his way to the dugout. One away, and Austin Wells coming up. Ron Darling.
You nailed it, Howie. I mean, 1983, winner of 1983, Sid Fernandez, Ross Jones for Bob Baylor and Carlos Diaz.
Yeah, Bob Baylor, pretty good utility infielder. Ross Jones just had a cup of coffee, I believe, as a utility infielder with the Mets, but that was clearly the Sid Fernandez trade, as he had been a pretty good prospect in the Dodgers organization. And so when the Mets made that trade, you looked at what they gave up and said, really? They got that kind of prospect for what they gave up? Here's Austin Wells, left-hand batter, takes low ball 1, but also Tyler Yates and Jordan Yamamoto were Hawaiian-born players who pitched for the Mets. Garcia's had points of 4 major league seasons. 1-0 to Wells upstairs, a changeup, 2-0. He has been with the Rockies, the Giants, the Orioles, the A's, the Nationals, and here he is with the Mets out of Hawaii Pacific University. 2-0 on the way. Fastball drilled down the left field line, slicing foul and out of play. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Wells, the number 8 hitter. Oswald Peraza behind him. And you look ahead to the bottom of the 8th. The Mets will be scheduled to send up Mauricio, Beatty, and McNeil. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a little flare towards the left field line. Going to be a tough play, but it falls foul. Beatty gave chase beyond his reach, but a foul ball, and it's 2-2 now to Wells.
Well, Madge found a little nugget about the Cody Bellinger double play today. There was a game in L.A. the Mets played in 2019 where Bellinger threw out, he's playing right field, threw out Conforto at home plate, Carlos Gomez at third, and took Jacob deGrom deep, all in the same game. The Dodgers beat the Mets 9-5.
That's a game. Oh, man. If you're Cody Bellinger. 2-2 the count. I think that was one of Jake's Cy Young seasons. Now the pitch to Wells. Breaking ball down and in, full count. Yankees bullpen is quiet. So looks like they'll open up against Hill. Mauricio is a switch hitter. He'll turn around about right-handed where he has struggled. Payoff pitch. Swinging a liner towards first, foul. So that bottom of the 8th really is set up for Hill. As you turn Mauricio around, make him bat from his weaker side. Then Beatty, the left-hand batter, and then McNeil behind Beatty. So it's right in Hill's wheelhouse. 3-2 to Wells. Garcia ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul. Straight back out of play. Mets season ticket membership gives you the best seats for the best price to catch all the action here at Citi Field. Place your deposit to secure your spot for next season. Go to Mets.com/deposits for details. 3-2 to Wells. Garcia deals. Swing on a liner to right. That's going to be in for a base hit. Soto plays the second hop. And the Yankees have their 12th hit of the game. A 1-out single. And Oswald Peraza coming up. Garcia is the 5th pitcher, all relievers, that the Mets have used in this game. And the only one of those relievers you would even remotely consider as a guy who works in high leverage spots is Huascar Brazoban, who was doing more of that early in the year when he was more successful. Brazoban worked 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and a run. And that was right after the Mets had cut the lead to 1. 6-4 Yankees, first pitch. Peraza takes a called strike, a cutter, 0-1. Remember, the Yankees led this game 5-0. But the Mets got 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. They've been hurt by 2 double plays, 1 routine, and the other anything but. The 0-1 tries to hold up at a breaking ball down and away. He went around at the cutter, and it's 0-2. Mets had a run in, bases loaded. Nobody out in the sixth, trailing 5-3. Singer hit into a ground ball double play. That's kind of, the routine type double play. But the one Bellinger made in left field, simply brilliant. The 0-2. Breaking ball low and away, ball one. In case you missed it, Lindor had been hit by a pitch to start the seventh, with the Mets down 2. Soto, the tying run at the plate, hit a sinking liner to left. Bellinger made a shoestring catch and a phenomenal throw to first to double off Lindor. Big play of this game. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball fouled straight down at home plate. Yankees have struggled defensively at times in this series, but that was clearly the best defensive play of this weekend from a guy who's an elite defender wherever he plays. Left, center, or first, Cody Bellinger. 1-2 pitch. Swing on a pop-up behind home plate. Singer chucks the mask, shading his eyes, makes the catch in foul territory, 2 men away. Holding at first is Wells. So back to the top of the order now, and a dangerous hitter, Paul Goldschmidt, who's 2 for 4 and has scored twice. Mets will have Holmes, Peterson, and could very well be that starting pitcher on Thursday in Baltimore is Justin Hagenman again. First pitch to Goldschmidt, check swing, but he goes around. At the fastball, it's 0-1. Mets think they might have Senga and Minaya back in Kansas City leading up to the All-Star break. That would be big. 0-1 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to short, charged by Lindor. He gloves it and flips to second to Mauricio for the force play. That retires the side. So scoreless inning provided by Garcia. 1 hit, 1 left.
Talk to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha.
Amazing.
And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bock beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town. Dude. Oh, best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
To be in, the middle of New York to display a card like this is really such a big part of the Fanatics mission. We think about how do we create new experiences. Now we get the opportunity to put incredible Holy Grail cards in front of tens of thousands, if not millions of new people. It's not just about collectors today, but also about how do we bring new collectors into the space as well. It's really what we do it all for.
Or if you swap a jersey, one of the players on the National League, who would it be? Who would you pick?
Okay, so I got an Ohtani jersey last year, so
nice.
I'm gonna probably say Harper.
Maybe Judge. He's one of the greatest to play the game in the last 5, 6, 7 years, so it'd be cool to have his jersey. Ellie's been fun to watch. Yeah, Ellie'd be a cool one. I mean, his jersey would probably be too big for me. It'd probably go down to my knees.
Now we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees led 5-0. It's now 6-4. The Mets really have their work cut out for them in this 8th inning because Tim Hill, that side-arming lefty, is going to face Ronnie Mauricio and turn Mauricio around to bat right-handed, where he has had few opportunities without success, and he fouls the first pitch back, and it's 0-1 for Mauricio. Batting right-handed, he has had 1 hit in 16 at-bats. And then you've got a couple of lefties, Beatty and McNeil, behind Mauricio. And the pitch hit on the ground to the right side. It finds its way through. A base hit for Mauricio. And Ronnie is 2 for 2. So, against certain odds, he comes up with his second right-handed hit of the year. And now the Mets can bring the tying man to the plate, and it's Brett Beatty.
Now this won't be fun for Beatty at all against lefty Tim Hill. Just that low release point. But sometimes, and Carlos Mendoza kind of noticed this the other day, sometimes lefties have just seen lefties a little bit better because you have to be a lot more disciplined against them.
He's hit 200 against them, and the first pitch crowds him. A sinker, 1 ball and no strikes. He does not have a home run among the 9 that he's hit against left-handed pitching. McNeil on deck, and then Singer. 1-0 the count. Hill deals. Swinging a ground ball towards first, picked by the first baseman Goldschmidt. He tags Mauricio for 1 out and steps on first to retire Beatty. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Mets have hit into a double play. That's a Gold Glove first baseman who made a good pick, Paul Goldschmidt, on a hard hit. 1 hopper by Beatty. And Mauricio was in the neighborhood. So Goldschmidt tagged him and then stepped on first to take care of Beatty. And just like that, 2 out, nobody on.
Well, the Yankees struggled defensively for a long time. The 2 guys that don't are Goldschmidt and Bellinger.
And the first pitch to McNeil, in for a called strike, 0-1. And well, there again, the Mets take themselves out of a situation where they had the tying man at the plate. But a terrific play by Goldschmidt. The 0-1 taken outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayden Singer is on deck. Mets have Travis Jankowski and Luis Torrens available. The 1-1 taken down and in a sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike. Yankees now have Luke Weaver up in their bullpen. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a foul straight back out of play, and it's 2-2. Mets have not seen Devin Williams in this series. Pete Alonso has faced him twice this year in the Bronx. Williams got him both times. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball chopped slowly to short. Charging is Volpe. He 2-hands it. Throws to first in time. Side retired. Of course, it was Williams against whom Alonso hit his memorable home run in the wild card series in Milwaukee. But in the 8th inning,
The name of the business is Legacy Catering. We all were talking about how Mom taught us all how to cook. She was a cook at the public school system for ages. So we all started to cook with her, so we decided, to do the business, so we went and figure out what we're going to call it. So we said, let's cook in honor of, our mother. So that's where Legacy came in. And just remember that Legacy Catering is about people, and this is what barbecuing is all about, and this is why we love it.
Let's open this up. Take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
Animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not? Right?
He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's all
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
here at Citi Field, Yankees 6, Mets 4. Trent Grisham, left-hand batter, leads off against Rico Garcia in his 2nd inning of work, and a fastball is outside for ball 1. It'll be Grisham, Judge, and Stanton. Tough hitters all for the Yankees here in the 9th inning with the Mets down 2. And the 1-0 on the way. Swing and a liner toward short, backing up to play a big hop as Lindor. Overhands to first in time. 1 man away. And now Aaron Judge will be the batter. Thriving player of the game, let's call it Cody Bellinger. He's got 2 hits and 3 trips, but boy did he make a tremendous catch on a sinking liner and an even better throw to first to double off Francisco Lindor. And a ball hit by Juan Soto for what really might be the game-turning play in the 7th inning. Here's Aaron Judge, first pitch. Rides high, 1 ball and no strikes. ThriveWell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center. Schedule your appointment at thrivewellinfusion.com.
Surprised the Mets aren't just putting Judge on here, really. 2-run game. Maybe just pitch around him.
1-0 on the way. Low outside, ball 2. Not a bad thought at all with Stanton on deck. But Stanton is any walk in the park with his prodigious power. The Mets really can't afford to fall any further behind here. It is Devin Williams now up in the Yankee bullpen. 2-0 pitch. Taken low and away, ball 3. And the Mets thinking here might be aligned with yours, Keith.
Yeah, you know you're going to be trying to chase at least 2. You'd rather Judge can make it a 3-run game, which would really be a big, tall task in the bottom of the 9th.
3-0 pitch. Right down the middle of fastball. 3-1. If Judge had been inclined to swing, he had a cookie there.
Boy.
3-1 the count. Guess he's not hungry. He had one last time.
Don't do that again, though, if you're Rico Garcia.
Pitch back is a breaking ball, a cutter that nicks the outside corner. Right at the bottom of the zone on the outer edge, and Judge took it. It's 3-2.
I think Judge is thinking what we're thinking, too. This pitch is probably outside. Let me turn and throw the bat. Well, hold on a second. Rico Garcia. Uncle Rico making him work.
I'm still not throwing him a fastball here. No. 3-2 the count. Let's see what Garcia does. Here it comes. And it's in there. Strike 3 called. He threw him a curveball. How about that? Judge doesn't like at least one of those calls and says so to the home plate ump, John Bacon. 2 men away. Aaron Boone is chirping in the Yankee dugout, too.
I mean, last year we saw Jake Diekman strike out Judge when the Mets had walked him all game. You figured, okay, 3-0, nothing close. He gets a backwards K out of it, does Rico Garcia.
Second strikeout for Garcia. Here's Stanton. First pitch, waved at and missed. A cutter, 0-1.
Yankees now have Devin Williams, by the way, in that bullpen there, Howie.
And he'll face either Singer or a pinch hitter, Marte and Lindor. 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1, a cutter. Yankees leading 6-4. Trying to salvage the finale of this 3-game series. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball. It goes to the backstop. It's 1-2. Max Fried, who went 5+ for the Yankees, is in line to win the game. He would go to 11-2 if the Yankees hold on to this lead. But the Mets made him work, got him out of the game in the 6th inning. 1-2 now, the pitch to Stanton. Swung on, popped up, shallow center. Mauricio backpedaling, calling, makes the 2-hand catch, side retired. So give credit to Rico Garcia in his Mets debut as he works 2 scoreless innings and gives the Mets a chance as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees 6, Mets 4.
Boomer is the dog. Does he look good? I just followed his picture all the way. And there he is. Boomer's dad.
That was kind of a change from the everyday thing that we normally do as far as baseball cards are concerned.
Hey, I have a Labrador. Where's my card?
You know, a little bit different, and it turned out to be a fun experience.
It was just when the camera crew tried to leave that there was a problem. You can't leave.
For your money at Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
Selecting and installing Marvin replacement windows is easy when you work with Riverhead Building Supply.
We'll guide you through each step, from selecting your new Marvin windows to installing them in your home.
Visit Riverhead Building Supply or rbscorp.com.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yankees lead the Mets 6-4. So 2 of the relievers in this bullpen game, among the 5 that the Mets used, Davinsky and Garcia, gave the Mets 2 scoreless innings. Pop, Waddell, and Brazoban are the ones who gave up the runs. And so the Mets will send Luis Torrens to bat for Hayden Singer as they go to the bottom of the 9th inning against Devin Williams. who struggled so badly over the first month and change of the season. The Yankees took him out of the closer's role. He's been better going back to the 7th of May. Hasn't allowed a run in 18 of his last 21 times out. Did take a loss earlier this week on a wild pitch in Toronto. He's facing Torrens, batting .217, former Yankee farmhand, and the first pitch swung on and missed, the signature changeup, and it's 0-1. Singer had gone 1 for 3, but with the bases loaded and no out in the 6th inning, hit into a 6-4-3 double play. When the Mets were down 5-3, that made it 5-4. The 0-1, Torrens takes outside. Ooh. Another changeup. Did he call it a strike?
He did.
A very late call.
Wow.
John Bacon late with that right hand, but does call strike 2, and it's 0-2 to Torrens.
Well, Carlos is barking in that first base dugout. He's gotten John Bacon's attention.
Carlos continues to bark, and Bacon seems content to maybe exacerbate things by pointing over there, but now he calls off the hunt and goes back behind the plate. So 0-2 to Torrens. Williams ready. Now the pitch. In there, strike 3, called a changeup, and I'm telling you, that looked even further down and away than the previous pitch. Torrens is barking about it. Here comes Carlos Mendoza, and Torrens, I hope it's Carlos who just got thrown out. Because Torrens cannot afford to be thrown out of this game in case the Mets tie it, because Torrens was batting for their only other catcher, Hayden Singer. So that's why Carlos rushed out of there to try to protect Torrens, and Carlos is getting his money's worth now.
I got tossed last weekend in Pittsburgh for much different reasons. He had no choice but to argue that strike 2 call was brutal. The strike 3 call was even worse down in the zone that Bacon called strike 3. And Las Diaz is having to chest Carlos Mendoza back, and now Carlos finally goes to the dugout.
So Williams gets a couple of generous calls and picks up the strikeout. And Starling Marte will be next. So for however long this game continues, that's bench coach John Gibbons will take over the lineup card. But the Mets down to their last 2 outs here, trailing by 2. And oh boy, looking at the replay of that last pitch. Here's Marte. First pitch on the way. That's inside, a changeup, 1-0. Mets need one base runner to get the tying man to the plate. And because that's in play, that's why it was imperative for Carlos to get out there and make sure Torrens didn't get thrown out. 1-0 the count, now the pitch. Fastball over, a called strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, you can't lose your catcher if it's your last one, and you might need to play extra innings.
1-1 the count to Marte. Williams sets, now the pitch. Upstairs with a fastball, 2-1. Overall, Williams is 2-3 with a 5.17 earned run average, with 11 saves. And Marte now flexing his right knee, apparently, outside the batter's box. Remember, his legs are an issue. And the Mets know that Marte, even though they're comfortable when he plays in the field, cannot use him out there too much. But he's been swinging the bat well. 3 hits today. And now trainer Joe Golia is out there to check on him, along with John Gibbons and Francisco Lindor, who's the on-deck hitter. It's 2-1 here to Starling.
You're right about that knee. It has been bothering him. It's a reason why he can't really be an everyday player at 36 years old. It's just, you get to this point in your career, you run so much, you've run out to the outfield for so long. It's just one of the parts of his game that is broken down. But he's been so integral today and over this last few games in the role that he's been playing that it's just hard to see him coming out of this unless that knee is really barking on him.
Well, he's going to hang in. Interesting to see what happens if he gets on. The only player remaining on the bench is Travis Jankowski. Of course, he's an outfielder, so that would be an easy exchange if the game were to go to the 10th inning. But we'll see. Marte is going to stay in. Head in the count, 2-1. Yankees 6, Mets 4. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 9th. Williams ready, the 2-1. Swing and a miss at a changeup. Marte took a big hack there. Doesn't really show any discomfort as far as the knee goes, but now the count even 2-2. Outfield around towards right, the infield set back. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper down the third baseline, foul over by the Yankee dugout. Williams, the fifth pitcher the Yankees have used. Fried for 5+. Weisiger for an inning, Leiter 2/3, and Hill an inning and a third. Mets have hit into double plays in each of the last 3 innings. 2-2, the count to Marte. Here's the pitch. Swing and a grounder wide of third. To his left is Peraza to field it. Throws to first to get the barely jogging Marte. 2 men away, and you can tell that knee's bothering him.
Yeah, he out of the box. He's frustrated. He's kind of throwing his fist through the air. He's pulled his helmet off. He saunters back, and he is in some pain right now. There was no way he was going to go anywhere close to even 75% on that. He's just hurting too much.
Yeah, because what exacerbates it is that first step you've got to make, that burst that you need to make out of the batter's box, and that's when he really felt it. So here's Lindor, last chance for the Mets. First pitch, inside with a fastball, ball 1. He's got to get on to get Soto up there. And oh, by the way, behind Soto, it's Pete Alonso. So the Mets down to their last out. 6-4 Yankees, last of the 9th inning. Lindor batting left-handed, the 1-0. Swing and a miss at a fastball. And it's 1-1. Williams, an elite closer during the best of his days with Milwaukee. Missed a whole chunk of last year with a back problem. 1-1 the count. Now the pitch, way outside with a fastball, ball 2. You know, there is no script, but it really would be nice if this came down to Soto at least having a chance to tie the game in this Subway Series. Soto, such a huge focal point in the Bronx for obvious reasons. The 2-1, and Lindor late swings and misses at the changeup. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Usually you're out in front of a changeup. There he was behind it. So 2-2 the count. Yankee contingent on their feet. Williams ready. The 2-2 pitch. In tight with a fastball. He almost hit Lindor. And it's a full count now with Soto looming. Shadows not too far away from being a factor if this game were to move on. 3-2. Williams from the first base side of the rubber sets. The payoff pitch to Lindor. Check swing, but it looks to have gone around. He does on appeal to third. Strike 3. And the ball game is over. So the Yankees salvage the finale of this 3-game series. The Mets win the Queens portion of the Subway Series 2-1. They split the season series with the Yankees at 3 wins apiece. For the Yankees, it's the end of a 6-game losing streak, and the Mets' 4-game winning streak comes to a close. Williams gets the save, pitching a 1-2-3 ninth. The final score, the New York Yankees 6 and the New York Mets 4. Back to talk about it in a moment on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Murano. By now, you should know I can't get my game day started without my mug of my favorite Bigelow tea. For me, it's that smooth Bigelow green tea that tastes great and keeps my voice in peak condition, especially in extra innings. And I definitely need the English tea time for that day game after a night game. No matter how hectic your day gets, grab your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. Join the millions of Mets fans that make Bigelow #1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official tea of Odyssey Mets Radio.
The days move fast. Deadlines, school drop-offs, dinner plans. Good thing Optimum Fiber doesn't take slow for an answer. Get the fastest fiber internet in the tri-state.